do my marketing shit.
And it is officially live.
Isn't that?
Yeah, that's why I don't participate in
Yo,
that crap no more.
follow for follow is crap.
I don't want to watch your stuff. Like if I come across somebody's stuff that I want to watch, I'll watch it.
Exactly.
I might tell them I watched it, but I'm not going to be like, I followed you. Make sure you follow me back. Like, no, that's not helpful.
It's not helpful at all. And
It's not
I
helpful
feel like
at all.
people don't understand the engagement issue. Like, people aren't going to, just because they followed you, if they're not going to engage with your content, of what value is it to you other than to say, I have this many people in my group, this many people on my Instagram, and this many people on my YouTube? It's no value. Right. There's no value in that.
Right. Oh, multi-world. Actually, no, Black Culture Geeks first. Create post.
And post.
Oh, Nick.
I put on there once again, SPJ and I coming back around with that bullshit. Oh, Nicholas. Oh, there it is. You here. All right. For anybody that might be tuning in now, we are not quite on just yet. This is the pre-prep. Does that even make sense? Pre-prep?
Pre-prep. Whatever it is, what it is. I mean, I would never want to type that. But
No, not at all. Not at all.
Hey, hold it down out there.
Oh, no, they're not doing that. No, what made you think they was going to do that?
He walked away.
Oh, he's coming back.
Pretty sure it had nothing to do with me, but he walked away.
He's coming back with that bullshit. Watch.
I mean, hey, listen, I'm gonna be ready. All right, so multi-world entertainment.
Share alike.
Share.
Oh shoot! Something else I needed to have.
Yeah, you try.
Right now.
Share. And switch to myself and share. Dun, 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 dun.
Is it?
All right, got that.
Times.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
Anybody that wants to rule the world probably shouldn't.
That's fair. I probably am not equipped to, but I would love to. I ain't gonna hold you.
You probably should.
No, it's fine.
I'm just saying.
Like, it's absolutely fine because it's not gonna happen. Oh, I do.
I don't want to rule it. What I would prefer is
I want full autonomy over the entire population of Earth.
I would blow it up before I ruled it. But
no, I mean,
I would. That's enough for y'all.
I ain't even on that.
Like, that's enough for y'all.
Oh, people will bow. I'm gonna be on my doom shit for real. With the whole world. Like, you will bow before me. I'll take care of you, but you will bow before me.
Oh boy. You're gonna have people like Leonidas. You know, the thing about this bowing, this kneeling thing,
Hey,
we
listen,
were fighting all day, and I have
that's fine. Fine, he ain't gonna be able to get to me, so he can have all the speeches that he wants.
He might throw that spear.
Hey,
it might not kill you, but he
listen,
might scar your face up real fast.
We in 2020 now. We ain't back then. With modern medicine.
See, this is.
I know modern weapons too.
But look, that's true. But this is the perfect time to use a spear. Cause ain't nobody expecting that.
That's a fact though. I ain't gonna hold you. You're right. You're right about that part.
Every time.
But listen, if I hear the speech, it'll be familiar. So I'm like, all right, there's a spear coming soon. There's a spear. I know this. I saw the movie. I read the
I saw the
articles.
Movie too, I saw the movie too. Look, he saw the movie, read the articles, line, and all of a sudden somebody shoots.
I'm like, oh,
like yo, I saw the movie.
Right.
Too,
like, oh, you know what? Or like, just like step behind something metal, or like.
Continue.
Yeah, go ahead. No, hold up. Let me get this riot shield real quick. All right.
Are you finished or are you done? You finished or are you done?
Oh, man. Yo. Oh, the idea of Matt Damon as Robin?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You talked about
Cyrus.
Yo.
Cyrus.
Yo. I'm telling you.
And I was like, yo, I'm here for it.
Me too.
I'm absolutely here for it.
I can see Matt Damon as Robin. Why not?
Thanks.
Why not?
And then eventually on this Nightwing shit, like,
yeah,
I'm with it. I'm with Matt Damon for Dick Grayson. Matt Damon look young as fuck anyway.
He look young as fuck and Born Identity.
Yeah,
like,
fact.
He can do that shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
He can do that shit. There shouldn't be no problem with that.
Angry young man trope. I wasn't aware that was a trope.
No, it is. But it's a lot of tropes around the angriness, angry black woman, it's a lot of tropes around that.
Interesting. It just popped up. I found this YouTube page that does like literary things, but as far as movies and TV and such.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, something me and Graydon have come to the realization that TV tropes is a black hole. And if you
you already know, I know.
Yeah,
there's no way. Yo, I had to physically remove myself from going to the site because no, my guy. Just like with everything else. Like, ironically, even though I have an appointment Monday for my arm, but I have my arm has felt a lot better since I stopped playing No Man's Sky for 24 hours straight.
Yeah, see, this is the reason why, like, people say to me, well, how come you're when I talk about No Man's Sky, I say, well, I usually play the creative mode. So how come you don't play the other mode? Like, if you look at my time spent in creative mode and time spent in normal mode, it's way more in creative mode. And I go to normal mode and play that and, progress my character more. I usually play in creative mode. They say, why? Because I can leave creative mode. I can leave.
Thanks.
Like, if I'm in normal mode, it's too much, especially at this point with these updates they have done. There's literally a whole lot to do. And you get jammed up and caught up in it where you're trying to do everything.
Oh, listen, my guy. I'll go in there. It's a time sink, 100%.
Yeah,
I'll go in there.
Yeah.
Well, not now, because I've reached a point where
equilibrium.
I start from the beginning. I used to go in there and like, all right, I want to do this one thing, right? But in order to do this one thing, I got to do this other thing. Right. In order to make that easier, I got to do this other thing.
Right.
And then in order to do that, I need to go see this that 10, 15 minutes you planned on spending turns into an hour quickly.
Right.
But now I'm to the point where, like, if it wasn't for this update, I would go on there maybe literally 10, 15 minutes when I go on there, because I would only go on there to check my farms.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I have
What's up, sis? What's up, sis? Marissa's in the house.
Hey.
Wrestling Realm. That sounds like somebody new. Brian
Wrestling Realm.
Yeah.
That is my man Brian. What up, dude? My man Brian from high school.
Word.
But yeah, I would go in there and I would play literally 10, 15 minutes because I would just have to go in there, go to my mines, empty out my storage containers, sell the stuff, and then I'd be done.
Right.
But now with the update, all this freighter mess, bruh. I tried that today. I tried. I opened it up. I said I'm gonna go and I'm gonna spend. I said I got a couple YouTube videos I want to watch. So I'm gonna play those, and while those are playing, I'm gonna search for an S-class freighter. Because I got all the money now. I have 2.4 billion.
You know, you can just upgrade your freighter.
But I want an S-class.
Yeah, you can. I think you can. Well, I don't know. I know you can do it with your ship.
Yeah, you can do it with your ship. But I don't know if you can do it with the freighter. At least I haven't found out how to do it yet. So I got an A-class. I'm fine with my A-class.
No, you want to.
I just figured.
Nah, you want to.
Yeah, I just figured since I had a couple YouTube videos I wanted to watch, I can do that while searching for an S-class.
Absolutely not.
My guy, the YouTube videos stopped.
You were still going.
No, when I actually was able to get out of this. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop. But what caught me was when I couldn't find that one, I went to mine and I was like, oh yeah, you can upgrade your inventory slots now. Let me go to a derelict freighter real quick.
Right.
In order to do that, you gotta go to the space station. Went to the space station, got the thing. You gotta use it, and then you gotta charge it and let it run and
it's a whole lot.
Track. So I did that. I get to it, and I'm like, oh, 20 minutes has passed. All right. Yeah. But I'm here, and when you land on the derelict freighter, you know how usually when you get out of your ship, it saves automatically.
I have yet to land on one. Like I've seen the anomalies out there.
No. I mean anywhere. If you get out of the ship, anywhere it does an auto save.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Not on a derelict ship. So I had gotten out of the ship, and it's like, oh yeah, you can't save on here. I'm like, fuck. So I have to go through this. I have to finish this in order for this progress to have counted. It's the worst.
It's horrible.
So I ended up spending a good 45 minutes. That was only supposed to have been 10. So
that's I mean, that's why, like, especially like on show day, I do not. I get up early enough where if I had the control, I could play a couple hours and nope, I don't even mess with it because I know how I get caught up in it, and then oh shit, it's almost showtime, and I haven't prepared.
Oh, it is. It actually is showtime.
It actually
just realized that.
Yes, it is. So let's get this.
Hold on. I'm not recording yet. Hold up.
You need to be recording.
Shut up. And we're recording.
All right, let's get this started. Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ. And I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective.
Facts indeed. Now listen. We brought a lot of toilet paper for this show because this is a shit show of massive proportions. Listen. This week, so much has happened this week. Like, even for 2020 standards, so much has happened this week. When putting this little look into the behind the scenes, like we always do, when putting the show together, the topics for the show this week, well, every week, I look and see what's going on in the streets.
What's going on in them streets?
What's going on out here? And I kept seeing things like, okay, that'd be interesting to talk about. You know,
right.
The Redskins have confirmed that they are 100% changing the name.
But didn't the owner say
no, never, in all caps, never changing the name. But no, that wasn't important enough to make this list.
No, it wasn't.
Wait. Then it turns out there's a years-long scandal of sexual harassment running through the Redskins organization.
Hoofa!
That's salacious.
Yes.
That is huge news.
Yes, it is.
Still couldn't make it to the docket today. There's a couple other things that happened this week that on normal weeks would have absolutely been on the docket.
Right.
It's a couple things that at the beginning of the week I actually put on the docket.
Right.
But I ended up having to take it off because these three topics here are probably going to make this a long episode.
Yep.
More so just the last one.
Yeah, no shit.
So, do you have anything before we jump in?
Nothing but to say that I have been very disappointed this past week with the short-sightedness of a lot of people in my community who don't seem to know how to win. But I'm not going to go into detail with that because it's actually going to bleed over into some of the topics where I feel like it'll be discussed in proper context. But some of y'all don't know how to win, and some of y'all don't recognize that the world runs off of narratives. You have to capture them like a Pokemon, train the narrative,
absolutely,
and have it work for you, and not this other shit. And you'll see when the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster.
Where have I heard that before?
I'm just ahead of the curve.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
No, but as funny as that is as prophetic as that was when the late great Heath Ledger spouted those words. It's real shit, yo. It's real shit. So to these topics, the first topic is an update from last week.
It's a mirror match. Oh, sorry.
Well, all right, sure. Because Lady A versus Lady A, I get it. I understand. No, I understand. I get what you. I get what you're picking up. What you're putting down.
Okay.
But what this is an update to the story, because the story as I reported it last week is not was not completely correct. All the information hadn't come out at that point, and now we have more information, and that is what we do on this show. We hold ourselves accountable, and we make sure
that's one of the things we do.
Yeah, I mean,
the other things we do is engage in fuckery and shenanigans.
Listen, none of that is pertinent to what I'm talking about right now. So we're gonna move on. So here's the update. What is Lady A's case against the other Lady A? The band has filed a declaratory judgment lawsuit against blues singer Anita White over the name. Attorneys say the case rests on two tricky things: prior usage and scope. When country trio Lady Antebellum announced a name change in mid-June amid national conversations about racism, it was meant to be a gesture of goodwill. The band had been criticized for romanticizing the pre-war slavery-ridden American South. Let me add a word: pre-Civil War slavery-ridden American South. So it chopped off the offending word and refashioned itself Lady A. But Lady A was already somebody else's name. A 61-year-old black singer in Seattle, Anita White, had recorded and performed music with her for decades. Now, here's one of the updates. So before, it was an internet record of 8 years that she had been using it. But it as more info came to light, the reality is she had been using the name for, like this says, decades.
Right.
All right. So in the days after White spoke with the Rolling Stones about her shock, the band contacted the singer and posted on Instagram that the two parties were working toward an agreement. Last Wednesday, however, the band filed a declaratory judgment lawsuit against the singer in the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Tennessee, asking the court to affirm its right to use the name Lady A. The trio, Hillary Scott, Charles Kelly, and Dave Hayward, said in an accompanying statement that White had asked for a $10 million payment. So we are sad to share that our sincere hopes to join together with Anita White in unity and common purpose has ended. Now, White, speaking to Rolling Stone on Friday, says she has been buried in Google searches for Lady A, whereas prior to last month, she was the only result for the name. If you're going to appropriate my name, I thought it was only fair I could rebrand myself with $5 million, she says. I could help my community, I could help my church, I can help other artists. And that other $5 million was supposed to go to Black Lives Matter to help other artists with this very struggle. Critics of the band's handling of the situation have also pointed out the irony of the trio changing its name to support racial justice while subsequently usurping a Black woman. In its complaint, the band says it holds federal trademarks while the singer does not. But White also started using the name in her music over 20 years ago, while the band officially adopted it in 2020. The declaratory judgment suit essentially asked the court to affirm that both parties can use the name. So that's another update. A lot of people were saying that they were trying to stop her from using her name. That is not the case. Their suit is for both parties to be able to use the name. This is a proactive way to clear up a dispute. Intellectual property attorney Wesley Lewis tells Rolling Stone, I think the band was cognizant of the optics because they said, and that's funny because we brought that up last week.
We brought the optics up last week. Yep.
I think the band was cognizant of the optics because they said they are not seeking damages from Anita White. They are not requesting that the court prevent her from using her name, Lady A. And I'm sorry, I got to bring that up too. A lot of people are still uneducated about what the word sue means.
Yeah.
It is not necessarily meaning you want money from that person.
Right.
It is trying to get a court-ordered judgment against them for whatever the situation is.
Right.
This is a mechanism for parties to request that the court establish they have a legal entitlement to use this particular mark, not that she doesn't have a legal entitlement to use the mark. While it's technically correct that the band is suing Lady A, Lewis notes that the word alone does not provide the full picture of what's going on here. It's a whole bunch of other stuff that's not really necessary. A bunch of he say, she say.
Yeah.
They're saying that she's asking for 10 million. She's saying she's asking for 5 million for her and for them to donate 5 million to other causes. It's a bunch of he say, she say. Like I said last week, I don't really want to get into this conversation. It's just that we talked about it last week. There were some updates in the actual facts of the story. So we got to put them out there. Got to hold ourselves accountable.
Exactly.
All right.
That's the follow-up.
So moving on. Talib Kweli blasted on Twitter for harassing Black women for 9 days and counting.
Hold up. And counting?
Interesting. Talib Kweli's reputation as a professional internet troll is nothing new, but it appears Twitter is finally catching on to his special talent, harassing women online. Over the past several days, the Black Star MC has been relentlessly going at a Black woman named Maya Monroe, who inadvertently suggested he was a colorist. On Thursday, a Twitter user proposed the question, what rapper married a Black woman besides Snoop? Ellipsis. Exactly. Let's stop right there for a second. It pains me.
Does it?
That we are still here's my issue with certain arguments that we have in our own community. There are enough instances of injustices against us that we don't have to fabricate shit.
Right.
This statement is categorically false. Either you're not that into the lives of these rappers that you talk about, or you're purposely being deceitful.
Yeah. The thing about this is, like you just said, it's annoying because all of these things you could assert. Say you legitimately didn't know the answer to this question and it was bothering you.
Right.
Yo, a few Google searches could have answered that.
Cursory Google searches.
Right. So all you're doing right there is you're stirring the pot. You're
Mhm.
trying to create a narrative, like sis just said, as if Papoose hasn't showcased hashtag Black Love in prime time.
Right.
Like, so you're stirring the pot. You're trying to. There is a narrative that you wish to believe so badly, but you wish to believe it so badly that you refuse to do anything like look some shit up because you're afraid it might dismantle whatever narrative that is, and you so desperately need that for your worldview. And this is not it's like you said about certain things in our community. This isn't the only thing in our community. Some of us just latch on to.
Right.
Like, but you have you really looked at the data, or it's just
no? The answer is no. The answer is 9 times out of 10. The answer is no. No, I did no actual research.
No,
I'm just gonna say this thing.
I'm just gonna say
All right, I continue. To which another Twitter user replied, Jay-Z, Papoose, Chance the Rapper, Bun B, 2 Chainz, Gucci Mane, T.I., Ice Cube, LL Cool J, Kendrick Lamar, Ludacris, Paul Wall,
this many of
J. Cole, Kevin Gates, Will Smith, Big Boy, Killer Mike, Ja Rule, Talib Kweli, Method Man.
Well,
he put an ellipsis at the end of it because the list goes on.
I'm just flabbergasted.
Right. So she then retweeted the response and wrote, literally almost all of them are married to light-skinned women. But that's a conversation for another day.
She's right.
She's doing it again.
Hold on, but she's right. That is another conversation. This is not what
this is not that conversation.
This is not what you brought up. This is not what you brought up.
She's doing it again.
Oh, jeez.
So because I need to be fair before we go in on Talib.
Right.
Because this part of this entire situation, she was wrong. She was dead wrong. Right. All right. Cool. Evidently, Kweli took issue with his name being included and fired back, reminding Monroe that he's married to a black woman. But from there, it just spiraled out of control. Kweli accused Monroe of tagging his wife, DJ Ek. I guess.
I don't know how you
pronounce that.
Don't do that. Don't do it to yourself.
I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. Which was disputed. EQ. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, DJ
EQ. That is clever. Like that's really clever. Anyway, which was disputed and he cried victim. Show the world. He's saying she specifically tagged my wife talking shit about us.
Do you see what she tagged his wife?
He said the person he was talking to said, show the world where she specifically tagged your wife.
Yeah, I need to see.
You've made 100,000 tweets about Maya. Of course, that's an exaggeration. About Maya recycling the same screenshots, but have yet to show her specifically tagging your wife.
Right.
Who I am untagging this from this so she can have some peace.
Right.
Maya tagged EQ, then posted several pics of another family member of mine. She posted wild assumptions about my personal life. When she did that, someone posted public info about her parents. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And continued to tweet about me and accuse me of rape and try to stop me from eating from behind a block like a coward. Well, yeah. All right. Subsequently, Monroe revealed a woman named Mary who routinely capes for Kweli has been not only harassing her, but also doxing her. This woman has over 100 accounts and has been posting pictures of my family, our address, my stepmom's old job, and salary of our full names and in defense of Talib Kweli. How do you get all that information?
Yo, what I'm trying to figure out is, and this is just an overall observation. What the fuck is wrong with all this shit going on, and this is what you motherfuckers do? You ain't got nothing.
Yo, but seriously, how do you get all this information from one person?
Listen. It's entirely possible. Depends on how much they've actually shared with the internet themselves.
Yeah.
Which can lead.
But I'm talking about
the old job and salaries,
full names.
I don't know, my guy.
How do you get?
You know what?
Messages from her old account show her saying,
"I'm not nosy, so I don't know how nosy people be getting that shit."
Whatever, nigga. Leaked messages from her old account show her saying she is his paid employee. Please report her. As the Reflection Eternal rapper's name continues to trend on Twitter, many people are calling for Twitter to ban Kweli, along with numerous fake accounts created by his alleged paid employee, which could be Kweli's burner accounts. Who really knows?
Right.
Check out some of the reactions below. So there's a picture of a sleeping monkey, and the caption says, "You only got this energy for woman, huh? Big strong man Thailand." Goodness.
I mean,
hey, listen, I can't defend him on this one, my guy.
And I'm not going to. Listen,
right.
As a matter of fact, we're gonna do the opposite. So again,
well, let me reiterate. Yeah. She was dead wrong.
She was dead wrong in the
but
beginning.
She didn't do anything personally to him.
Yeah. My thing is, this is a lot of energy, right? That a person's using their platform for. Now, listen.
A disgusting amount of energy.
To be truthful, it's not that he doesn't use it for other shit. He does.
Yeah, he does.
There are so many things that are wrong right now. Why is this something you do? Once again, it's time to go to the learning tree. If you are a celebrity and you're making money off of that notoriety and you're feeding your family, it's seed money for any other business and ventures you're doing or going into. This is the money that you're going to accumulate now that not only will you retire off of, but it will also go to help your family and what they do going forth. Why are you doing shit like this that will endanger at the moment? You know, the optics of this look bad. Are you so detached? Have you had fans for so long that it's colored the way you think people are going to see this? Do you think that people aren't going to look at this and say to themselves, by Odin, this is creepy. By Odin, this is, what are you doing? And it will fuck up your perception because, again, you got to understand something. And this is for all of you out there. I don't care how long you've been in the music industry, the Hollywood movie business. I don't care how long you've been in that shit. No one has to follow you. No one has to listen to your shit. No one has to go to your movies.
That's a fact.
People do this shit, and they definitely don't have to pay for it. The technology made it so they don't have to pay for it. Right? So when they do support your shit, the vast majority of that, the bigger percentage of that, is based on how they perceive your character. So when you do shit like this, that allows people to question your character, you're putting your money and brand at risk for nothing.
For no reason. That's the thing. I am never going to buy another Talib Kweli album. Listen, here's the thing. On top of everything else, buying albums isn't really something I do often anymore because I pay for services that allow me to listen to them for free.
Right.
So you have that. But in exceptional instances, I will still pay for an album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm like a fan of the person and I appreciate the music. And I think that, you know, they haven't done anything trash that I know about.
Right.
You know, all a bunch of different factors go into whether I'll actually purchase an album these days.
Napalm, what's up?
What up, bro? So yeah, it's like, at this point, because here's the thing. As I said, she was wrong. But he was wronger.
Yeah. and yo,
like a lot wronger.
It's like, yo, if me and a couple of kids are outside and we got a frisbee and we throwing it around and it hits your window, right? I was wrong. And I knew it was possible it could hit your window. We playing close. I was wrong. But then for you to come out then after that and spray us with a hose, then follow us home, and then throw rocks and shit at our door. Like, yo,
that's basically what he did.
Right. Like
that first get back. All right, cool.
Yeah,
it's over now.
Yeah,
it's over now because you didn't have. Honestly, the first person that responded to her was on her top.
Facts.
You really ain't have
you
to
had to
do
say
nothing.
Yo, that is also when you talk about a lot of these celebrities that have these fan bases. You talk about the Beehive. You talk about the Barbs with Nicki.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best things about having that sort of thing is that they're also your response team a lot of the
Absolutely.
times. Like when somebody comes and tries to troll you, somebody comes along trying to actually you or whatever dumb shit, your fans will usually jump in there. And the reason
Talib got
there,
fans.
Of course he does. And yo, why would you need to do or say anything when somebody already responded to that?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go so far as to lie about her tagging your wife.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I
didn't see it.
Like that. Come on.
I did a little searching myself.
Right.
Couldn't find it.
Yeah, that's not really cool, man. It's not really cool. Y'all gonna learn today. All y'all celebrity types, y'all gonna learn today.
Bro, talk about an overreaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
She essentially like plucked his ear when she walked by him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He tossed her off a 10-story building. Like, how is that? How is that even?
It's
like, what are we doing out here?
And again, it should never be even. Like, look, listen. You are an internationally known musician.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what this chick does. It's my first time even hearing her name.
I've never heard her name before.
Never heard her before.
Yeah.
Yo, there's a certain point where when this is a reason why I don't respond to every single comment.
Clearly you can't because you are
shut up. Shut up. I don't respond to every because
you don't have the time. You can't respond to millions and millions.
Shut up.
Right? Of pieces of fan mail.
Your ass.
You out here doing your thing, my guy.
Are ass.
Hey, listen, it's an honor and a privilege to be on your show with you.
You're out of line. You're out of line. But yo, you make yourself look small when you do that. And that's not the goal of what your brand is supposed to have you looking larger than life.
Absolutely.
This is making you look real small right now.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear anything about Jay-Z responding to this?
No.
Papoose?
No.
Chance?
No.
Bun B?
Wait a minute. You said Bun B?
Yeah, Bun B.
No.
2 Chainz, Gucci, T.I., Ice Cube, LL Cool J, Kendrick Lamar, Ludacris, Paul Wall, J. Cole, Kevin Gates, Will Smith, Big Boy, Killer Mike, Ja Rule, Method Man.
Not one.
None of them?
None of them responded.
And out of these, Meth be on Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, but Twitter. Mm-hmm. Meth be on Twitter. J. Cole be on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Chance be on Twitter.
A lot.
I ain't seen none of them. Why? 2 reasons. She's essentially throwing rocks at the sun.
Yeah.
You're not gonna reach it. But somehow Talib got hit.
He got hit. Like yo, when this is the whole issue. When a dog howls at the moon, it's expected that nobody
to be normal.
But if the moon howls back,
yeah, it's a problem.
This is going to be on
something
the news.
Went wrong.
Something went wrong. Something ain't right. Right? I can't.
God damn it, Talib.
Come on,
man.
You gotta do better. Like that's not
or just don't.
Or don't do anything.
Yeah, man.
Chill.
Just chill. It's not nuts. Like completely unnecessary. I don't know if there's.
I thought you was busier than that. You don't seem busy.
Right.
You don't seem busy.
I don't know if there's some type of history between the two of them or anything. I don't, because like I said, I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
But even in the event that there is some type of history between them, you still went too far, my guy.
Yeah,
what are you doing? Like,
took it too far.
She was all over the place with her argument. You allow her to do that.
Yeah.
There's a popular saying, arguing with fools and such. But you're the fool in this situation.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
That just comes around and kicks you in the ass. Like,
right.
You grown. I want to know. I wonder if he addressed this on his podcast.
I wouldn't know because I didn't think to look actually listen to his podcast before.
I listened to one episode.
It
was because of the guest. I can't remember who it was, but
I just feel like take us.
Mm-hmm.
We are nowhere near as known as this guy. Shut up, I'm not. And this guy, I'm nowhere near, right?
Hold up, you're an internationally known artist.
I am, but not there are levels to this.
No, I mean, listen, international means international.
But there's levels. Like
I don't know another meaning for it.
I'm just saying, if 20 people know who I am in South Africa, that's cool for me.
Right. Okay.
But if 200,000 people know who
I mean,
in South Africa,
semantics.
It's not. No, absolutely not. Absolutely
tomato,
not.
Tomato.
Look, the analytics ain't semantics.
It's a grain of salt. Standard deviation of about
not even
1,000%.
It's not. It's not an anomaly. But I'm just saying, I'm busy as fuck, man.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm busy.
I be having arguments with people in real life because I be busy.
Right.
You can't no, I can't.
I can't. I got stuff to do. To do. So I'm looking at these other guys that have way more notoriety and engagement than we do, and they seem to they have time.
Mm-hmm.
They have time for the fuckery.
They have the time.
I don't have time, man. Right. I've resorted to posting funny stuff like on my Facebook, because we always talk shit to each other in our private conversations. I just brought that shit out to the people that listen to us outside of whatever.
That's it.
Because it's easy to do. I'm already doing that because I don't have time for the other shit. I don't have time. Like, we're doing a lot over here. We're doing a lot over here. And it's about to be even more.
I'm about to say we about to be doing more.
Yeah, like, I don't have time.
Talib, my guy. I spoke in the last couple episodes or so about certain things like whether or not something is factual. You got to understand the spirit behind something, right?
Yeah.
So as far as I can see, it might be something that I'm missing. As far as I can see, she didn't single you out, my guy.
Yeah.
Not only did she not tag your wife, she didn't single you out.
Right. She tagged a whole bunch of people.
Probably up until the point that you decided to bark back. So, like, this is a you problem.
Facts.
Yeah, like, this is something that's going on inside of you that you inferred something from what she was typing.
Exactly.
Because, like I said, I can stand by the fact that she was wrong in what she said, but those topics that she brought up have a lot of validity to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the specific examples that she used were way off base. But yeah, the idea, the general idea of what she's talking about is a real issue.
Yeah.
It's a real issue that in some ways may or may not need to be discussed depending on how you feel about those issues. But her being wrong or misguided about this particular demographic of people participating in that topic is neither here nor there because you decided to turn this shit into World War IV.
He basically said, oh, you gonna be wrong on the internet? I'm gonna be wronger than you. I'm gonna be wronger than you.
That's the thing. Like, why go so big, my guy?
I don't know, man.
Was it really necessary? I listen.
It must have something she said irked his soul.
This didn't let me preface this. This didn't happen to me. Right. I'm not the one on the receiving end of her
barbs,
her searing ether.
Wow. He said ether.
Oh, wait.
Crazy.
Wait,
that's crazy.
Of rappers in general.
Yo, it was a
rappers
post.
In general.
Yo, it was a
is what she said.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why did you? Are you? You know what? Maybe that's his other rap name he used to use before he became Talib Kweli. Rappers in general.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe, my guy. I mean, people change their names all the time.
I'm rappers.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. You know what? You got something. All right. In that case, Talib, my guy. No, you still wrong. Still wrong. I just don't.
Too much.
You're doing way too much. It's completely unnecessary. Let me see. What's at the end of this? I wanted. Talib Kweli shouting down a black woman online for 24 hours because she dared name black men's colorism in the industry, then saying he won't check those men because he's not into attacking other black people. but he and his fake woke pals think he not misogynist and complicit either. Another J. Cole. Ooh.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
too. Damn.
We've already talked about J. Cole enough in that particular situation. Why are black men not calling Talib Kweli in? Hey, that's exactly what we're doing, sis. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
We kind of do that on this show a lot.
Yeah, we kind of do that a lot. Organize your people. He's been harassing a black woman for days. This shit is not okay. Absolutely correct. It is not okay.
Right.
It is not okay. Let me see. I can promise you the black women you commissioned to write for y'all can see where your priorities lie. Talib has been harassing black women for days. I will never write for y'all, and we'll make sure folks don't actively engage your platforms if this continues.
Whoa. I want to focus in on something in that particular thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I can promise you the black women.
She's talking to Uprocks, by the way.
Yeah, Uprocks. I can promise you the black women you commissioned to write for, y'all can see where y'all priorities lie. Priorities is a very important thing. I want y'all to hold on to that word priorities for stories later on.
Facts.
In this thing like that. Priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is interesting. And this will actually prove a part of Monroe's original point. Well, not original point, her secondary point, because her original point failed horribly, and then she moved the goalpost. Yeah. But anyway, I don't recall Talib Kweli putting this much effort when Iggy Azalea insulted him.
I don't either.
I remember him being rather interested in teaching and explaining to her the roots of hip-hop.
I remember that too.
Guess the abuse and harassment is specifically for dark-skinned black women. Surprise.
Hold, stop. Priorities is what y'all need to really, I want y'all to get that. Understand priorities and who y'all
talk that X Factor shit.
I'm just saying Yo, I'm just talking. We're gonna have a conversation about priorities and the people y'all so quick to jump out the window for to make into heroes. We got you. We got you.
Talib Kweli has been harassing Maya Monroe, a black woman half his age, for 3 goddamn days, all because his reading comprehension level is nowhere near as high as his raps lead us to believe. Don DeMarco. Talib Kweli ain't never had this much smoke for any man he's fought with online.
Damn
ouch.
It.
Ouch.
Sheesh.
Let me see. Talib Kweli trying to find a creative way to harass a woman online every single day for the rest of his life because she had an opinion. Talib Kweli has been harassing a woman half his age nonstop for literally 3 damn days over a tweet that wasn't even about him specifically to begin with. During the weekend of his side girl's baby shower, he paid bots to dox her and her family, and he's still going.
Yeah,
It's been 48 hours, and Talib Kweli is still harassing a dark-skinned black woman who spoke out about colorism. I don't know if there's even a word for that level of misogynoir. This nigga Talib still going at different black women. It's been like 9 days. Talib got to be annoying as shit in real life for him to still be going in, and none of his close friends, hell, even celebrity friends, ain't tell him how lame he looking at his big age.
Big age, my dude. Big age.
Y'all not about to blow up old girl spot because today is her baby shower, but Talib has a wife. The one y'all keep tweeting, the whole other girl who is having his baby in like a month or two. The girl who is pregnant by him is the light-skinned one I'm referring to.
See, I'm gonna tell you something. This is what happens. This is why you don't do. This is why you don't do what you did, Talib. This is why. Because people are petty as fuck, and this is the internet, and they're going to drag every skeleton, every uncomfortable situation that you didn't want to be focused on. They're gonna drag that shit out. This is what they will. Y'all gonna learn today.
Y'all gonna learn. Listen,
y'all gonna learn.
This one is particularly interesting. Talib Kweli is currently doing a more blatantly petulant version of what J. Cole did a couple weeks ago, doing a whole tumbling pass over all the bigger problems in the world to attack and gaslight a black woman because they had a hit dog moment from her making a basic
What did I just say earlier when it started? Yo, do you not see what's happening? And this is where we at.
And here's the thing. I want to clarify that a little bit. At least from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you can't talk about other things online. It's that
can.
Being a celebrity, your voice is magnified.
Yes.
So you sure you can post whatever you want, right? Absolutely you can. However, we're going to look at you a little bit differently because you got a platform,
and that
big platform.
See, this is always lost on these motherfuckers, man. This is always lost on them. Like, yo, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself, well, how come I can't be like other people? But here's the point with that. You didn't want to be like other people.
No.
That's why you went out.
You specifically wanted to be different.
You wanted to be different. You wanted to be
unusual.
Unusual, not the norm. This is why you have worked your ass off to promote your art, to get out there, because you didn't. So,
spent all those hours writing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you know that with all those benefits, it also comes a responsibility, right? There is nothing in the world. Let me tell you something. Some of the worst people in the world you can name are those that only want to benefit but don't want to accept responsibility. These are some of the worst people on the planet. Why would you mirror them? Why would you not understand, as long as you've been in the limelight, that what you say and do is going to have a ripple effect that's a lot? I am a small pebble. I'll make ripples, but they're not going to go that far. You are a big dumbass center block.
Yeah.
Somebody tosses you into the water, you're going to get some splash black. It's going to be some rippling effect going on. It's going to go all the way to the shoreline.
Absolutely.
Yo, listen, let me repeat this again. I am not a genius.
Yeah.
I am a dumbass about a lot of shit. A lot of shit. So if I can figure this out,
right? That's
what the fuck.
That's the way I be coming at things, but people just don't be listening to me. Like I'm talking about getting the basics of something, not any advanced things that you might need a degree for. No, I'm talking about just basic level shit that the average person could, if they chose to, understand.
Yeah, they could, but they
they could. Talib, my guy.
Come on, man. Seriously, stop.
This ain't the move, bro.
Stop it.
And I'm with the whole Black Star Reflection Eternal, all that good stuff.
Yo, I love it. I still have that. I still play that. I still play songs about that. You can't.
My favorite Eardrum is my favorite Talib Kweli album. But bruh, like, what are we doing here? Chill out.
Stop it.
All right.
Too old for that.
So now it is time.
Is it?
To get into the meat and potatoes.
And let me just say,
episode.
Let me just say that some of y'all ain't gonna like us after that.
Oh, a huge deal of you.
Some of y'all gonna purposely miss the point.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I had a conversation yesterday about this, and people are purposely missed. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can find this particular conversation, because I would like to not mess this one up. I would like to have this word for word, because I don't want to make it seem like I am misrepresenting what someone said.
Right.
All right. So for all you that can read and are looking at the screen, that obviously excludes the ones that are listening to this in audio only versions. But if you are looking at the screen and you are looking at the video version, because some people might have the YouTube on and just be doing other things. That's a thing.
Yep.
But you can see what the third topic is. It's Nick Cannon. There is no way in the world that we can have a podcast named Black Culture Geeks, and as big as this story has been this week, not talk about Nick Cannon. It would be irresponsible of us to not mention it. So let me talk about this. There was a post. It says, "Can we talk about what Nick and Deshaun Jackson said that have been viewed as anti-Semitic. So my comment, I carefully thought before I made this comment, because I know how a lot of the conversations that I've had in this group have gone. And I thought to myself, is it worth it? Is it worth even offering this different opinion? Because in the day and age where anybody thinks that if you have a critique or of what they're saying, then you're a hater and you're just being negative and blah, 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 blah. Why are you here anyway? Somebody told me leave the group yesterday. I'm like, no. Who the fuck are you? Like, no. Anyway, so my response was, imagine someone with a big following went on and on about how black people are violent. Fuck how we feel, because we know the truth, right? But then people who were looking for a reason, in this hypothetical, let's call them police officers, let that mindset fuel the violence that they commit toward us. That's the long and short of it.
Yeah.
So someone clearly missed what I was saying.
Of course they did.
And responded, they do. Republicans do it all the time. Trump does it.
Yes, they do. And you don't like it,
I'm
right?
aware that I use the word and I do understand. I'll give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt.
I'm not.
Because
I'm out of here.
Because you can, it is hard to convey tone through just letters, but it's I'm a, you know, that's not important. Anyway, so my response, I know that's racist, right? The response was, and they still have their platforms, and she posts, I don't know if it was a guy or a girl because of the name, it seems kind of ambiguous, and they have a mask on and a hat, so I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. And they said, and they still have their platforms. Some posted a screenshot of Trump.
He's the president
with his thugs, and
he's the president.
Yeah, no, not important. No. We got to get.
She needs to stop.
No, listen. Not important. No, we that's low hanging fruit. We gonna ignore that one. So I said, yeah, but that's not what this post is asking. The question is, how is it anti-Semitic? The response, it's not. All right. So I just laughed. I just left a laughing reaction and kept it moving. So somebody that understood what I was saying came on and responded to them saying, yeah, but they're firing people for that every day.
Yes. That's what I was saying about, they need to stop.
And this person comes back and responds, I don't even know who the fuck that is. He said a big following. And they responded back, the point is they're firing people for tweets that are years old.
Yeah.
What makes saying something what makes you think saying something on a current podcast won't get you fired?
Yeah,
But again, whether he should have been fired or not was not the topic of that post.
It wasn't.
So someone says, responding directly to my comment about my quote unquote hypothetical, because again, clearly that's not a hypothetical situation. Anyway, whatever. So some guy responds, the difference between your hypothetical and reality is that blacks were targeted by white people, and white people have been overwhelmingly violent towards us without merit from the beginning of our histories together. So if someone white goes on and on about black people being violent in your hypothetical, that white person would be perpetuating that idea, contrary to the reality that white people have used violence overwhelmingly more towards us and each other. European history is full of war. Meanwhile, in reality, when someone black says white people have been overwhelmingly and exceedingly violent, it's actually said based on what's true from history. Now, mind you, I never made that point.
I know.
I never made the point of black people saying this about white people. That's not because that's not what's going on in the post. I'm sticking to the topic. In everyday conversation, I may happen to veer off of topic because it's everyday conversation. There's no reason to be beholden to that level of structure.
Right.
But when you're trying to come to an understanding of something together as people, it's kind of incumbent upon everybody to stay on topic.
Stay on topic.
So let me see. Meanwhile, in reality, when someone black says white people have been overwhelmingly and exceedingly violent, it's actually said based on what's true from history through today. I think some white people just don't want to accept that they were and have been far more violent than we are. I think Nick alluding to that got him in trouble unfairly. I said he didn't get in trouble for talking about white people. He got in trouble for perpetuating the Rothschild conspiracy more than anything. That conspiracy and offshoots of it literally contribute to violence against Jews. That's the comparison. I'm not commenting on...
Hold up for a second. Violence against Jews that ain't even involved. Like, even if you wanted to make the argument...
Absolutely.
The guy went into the synagogue and killed 11 of them. They had nothing to do with none of that shit.
No.
But all right. Okay.
Yeah. So, I continue. I'm not commenting on whether or not he should have been fired. I am not comparing the histories or talking about histories at all, really.
Stick to the topic.
Spreading rhetoric that feeds violence against a minority is racist. It's that simple. Both Nick and Deshaun were doing that. Here's his response. I didn't see where Nick Cannon advocated or perpetuated violence. Jackson posted something that's factually inaccurate, and that's problematic in and of itself. I don't see how Nick was advocating violence against Jews, though. My response, that's not what I said.
At all.
I didn't say he was advocating violence against Jews.
In
no way, shape, or form.
What you're saying is that these same narratives that he's spreading around also drip out of the mouths of the people that run in the synagogues and shoot people that ain't got nothing to do with shit.
That's it. So I said, that's not what I said. His response, you said both were spreading rhetoric that feeds violence against a minority. I'm saying I can see that in one, but not the other. And my response was, okay. Because I'm not about to...
you can't.
You're clearly misunderstanding what I'm saying or misrepresenting what I'm saying.
You can do a great many things, SBJ. I have witnessed that in the last 4 or 5 years. I've witnessed you learn how to do shit that you couldn't do before. What you're not going to do in that short amount of time on that thing is become an English teacher. It's not happening.
There's no way.
It's not happening.
No way.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
People are sometimes so set in their ideas that they have that when they read or hear another person, they have a filter on.
Yeah, they do.
Because what he said in response to what I said wasn't wrong. He just wasn't responding to what I said.
What you said, right. He was basically straw manning what you were talking about. I don't know. Like, if you'd have told me just 10 years ago, right, that this conversation would be revolving around Nick Cannon,
bruh, I
would not have believed you. And I'm looking at some of y'all, and I'm going to, is this your king? You sure? You sure? Is this your king?
Wait! Don't bring that up yet.
I'm not.
I'm gonna get some of these. All right. So Nick Cannon fired by Viacom CBS for hateful speech espousing anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. All right, hold up. First of all, my black people, I love you, but we have to collectively do a better job of being knowledgeable about things before we run our mouths about them. Now, this is not me talking about an opinion. This is not even me talking about a belief. Even though some beliefs can be proven wrong, I'm not even talking about beliefs.
Right.
I'm talking about things that are factual.
Demonstrable.
One of the number one responses I saw to that headline is, because a part of that, it goes Wilding Out.
Right.
Nick should just take Wilding Out to BET. So let me clue you guys in.
Okay.
For those who don't know, which is sad because, like I said, all right, we say on here all the time, we're interested, right? We're interested. That's why we know a vast majority of the shit that we know, right? My thing is, so in a vacuum, you not knowing that Viacom owns BET,
right,
is okay in a vacuum,
right. In a vacuum,
it's okay in a vacuum.
Absolutely. You didn't know. You wasn't interested enough to look, and I don't blame you because this is compartmentalized knowledge.
Why does anybody want to know these things?
Yeah,
right?
It's compartmentalized knowledge. Yeah,
but once something like this happens, and you want to be involved, now you have that interest. That interest exists.
Well, you would assume, right?
Well, right.
Assume, right?
By proxy, at least, that interest exists. It's there in the ether for you to grab at if you would like.
Right.
So yes, it would behoove you to see who BET is owned by before you make comments like that.
Right.
On top of the fact that, and this is even more obscure, so again, in a vacuum, you wouldn't necessarily know this. Nick Cannon doesn't own Wild 'N Out. He created it. Does not own it.
He did what a lot of you up-and-coming rappers want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You created an idea, a brand. Mm-hmm. You created your album, and then you want to sign to some label to give a lot of it to them.
Yeah, basically.
He did the same thing a lot of y'all want to do. I want to give y'all shit to somebody else.
So to this article, Viacom CBS has severed its ties with Nick Cannon over his espousal of what it calls hateful speech and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. On a recent episode of his podcast, Cannon's Class, Cannon discussed race and racism with former Public Enemy member Richard Professor Griffin. Let's stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
That was your first problem, Nick. You decided to have the grifter.
Well,
and yes, that's
to be fair to Nick. He has a lot of he had Rizza Islam on there. He has a lot of these type of. But Professor Griff is definitely somebody with which the Jewish community feels a way about anyway. So
one of his claims to fame is being kicked out of Public Enemy for being anti-Semitic.
Right.
Like, what are we? All right. Anyway, I digress. Referencing the ideas of Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan, Cannon said that people who have the lack of pigment are a little less than those who do and have a lack of compassion. All right. So I know that I said last week, I stood on here last week and for 15 minutes made a declaration that I would stop being so nitpicky in most things.
It lasted a week.
Listen, no, in most things. Every specific instance that I mentioned last week still stands.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about this one.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to change this one.
Right.
Melanin, ladies and gentlemen. White people aren't devoid of melanin.
Yeah, melanin.
That's not how that works.
Right. The melanin excessive. It's a difference.
It's a huge difference.
It's a difference.
Albinos are devoid of melanin.
Right.
So anyway, regardless, it's just a little nitpick. So he continues, they're acting out of fear. They're acting out of low self-esteem. They're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, the only way they can act is evil. They have to rob, steal, rape, and I think he said pillage or murder, or I can't remember the exact word he said because I listened to the clip, but
right.
It is a little because Professor Griff says something the same time that he's saying this, so it's a little muffled in order to survive. Right. Cannon also espoused anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about the Rothschilds and the bloodlines that control everything, even outside of America. He said that Black people are the true Hebrews. All right, let me address the Rothschild thing. So, matter of fact, it's another article. We'll get to it. It's another article
because I got some stuff for that too.
It's another article that we got on here.
Just some numbers for people.
Viacom issued a following statement to Deadline. Viacom CBS condemns bigotry of any kind, and we categorically denounce all forms of anti-Semitism. We have spoken with Nick Cannon about an episode of his podcast, Cannon's Class, on YouTube, which promoted hateful speech and spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. While we support ongoing education and dialogue in the fight against bigotry, we are deeply troubled that Nick has failed to acknowledge or apologize for perpetuating anti-Semitism, and we are terminating our relationship with him. We are committed to doing better in our response to incidents of anti-Semitism, racism, and bigotry. Viacom CBS will have further announcements on our efforts to combat hate of all kinds. All right. So, a couple things about this statement from Viacom. I want everyone to keep in mind for the rest of this episode that in no way, shape, or form am I alleviating the company of Viacom CBS from any forms of racism.
I don't believe listen, when they condemn bigotry, my eyes almost rolled all the way up into my brain.
I mean, listen, Viacom, they have to say that in these times.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
In these times, they have been on that. In these times, but not necessarily across the board. I mean, the only places we saw it was like Nickelodeon and shit. It might have only been Nickelodeon.
And also, I think we talked about this last week too. Or maybe no, it was the week we had Chloe on. Allow us once again to disabuse any of you of the idea that any of these big companies are activist companies.
No, that's not what's going on.
They're out here to make fucking money.
That's it. And that's what their job should be.
Exactly. They don't care about, to be real with you, that company doesn't care about any of this shit beyond its ability to affect their bottom line. So if this shit makes their company look bad, that's what they're concerned about. They could give a fuck about any of that other shit. So let's call spades a spade on the show. Like this is horseshit. This is all publicity PR shit.
But again, it is indicative of the climate that we're in right now.
Yep.
It's them reacting to the climate that
which is a very good point. I'm glad you brought that up, sir. They're reacting to the climate we're in. Yeah. They're showing that they are observant. Mm-hmm. They see what climate we're in, and they're reacting accordingly.
Yep.
Some of you other motherfuckers might want to. I'm just saying. Some of you other motherfuckers are blind. They got blinders on. They don't see do you not see what's happening around here?
No.
It's crazy.
Barely. Oh, my bad. So continue.
That was ass.
I'm sorry. Yesterday, as the controversy mounted, Cannon took to Facebook and tried to explain his words. Anyone who knows me knows that I have no hate in my heart, nor malice intentions. Malicious, Nick. Malicious. Said Cannon, I do not condone hate speech, nor the spread of hateful rhetoric. We are living in a time when it is more important than ever to promote unity and understanding. I encourage more healthy dialogue and welcome any experts, clergy, or spokespersons to any of my platforms to hold me accountable and correct me in any statement that I've made that has been projected as negative. Until then, I hold myself accountable for this moment and take full responsibility because my intentions are only to show that as a beautiful human species, we have way more commonalities than differences.
Yeah,
Let me hold you accountable for a second.
That's what I got out of that.
Let me hold you accountable for a second, Nick. Now, there are a lot of people that I've seen in the past week about this topic. He ain't saying nothing wrong. He was right.
I said it too.
That aside, whether he was right or wrong aside, right? My intentions are only to show that as a beautiful human species, we have way more commonalities and differences.
That's not.
Let me go back and read the quote.
Yeah, please.
People who have the lack of pigment are a little less than those who do and have a lack of compassion. They're acting out of fear. They're acting out of low self-esteem. They're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, the only way they can act is evil.
Yeah, that sounds.
Those statements don't match, my guy.
That sounds very unifying. That sounds unifying. Like words mean things. Like words mean things. Words mean things.
Mm-hmm.
Again, look, I understand. We're gonna get into it because there's a lot. There are some things that are happening that have been happening, like in our community, that's what makes a lot of the correction in this part of the topic resistant.
Yeah,
they're resistant to be corrected about some of this shit because it's been floating around for so long, and we discussed this before the show, where when you, depending on what rung of society you're on, you're going to be more susceptible to a lot of these ideas than other people.
Absolutely.
And it's going to take put you like this. It's going to take a lot less convincing. You're going to be a lot less skeptical of these sort of claims because you've seen a horrendous amount of brutality. People just don't give a fuck. The powers that be continue to get richer. You appear to continue to be poor. You're ignored. You're insulted for centuries.
And you're entitled to feel that way.
Right. But you're not entitled to be wrong factually. Nobody is.
Right.
Nobody is, man. Like,
yeah. So, back to the post that I responded to, that two people completely misrepresented what I said, and because of their feelings.
Keep going. I got to do something real fast. Keep going.
Okay. Because of their feelings, they completely misrepresented what I had to say, and that's fine. I'm not faulting them for that. In some of these conversations on Facebook, I might come across as like upset or something, but I really don't care. I'm all for people feeling how they feel. I'm just there to discuss ideas and facts separately, though. Ideas, you can have whatever idea you want, as long as it doesn't interfere with facts. If I happen to know them, if I don't know them, then there's nothing really for me to. I'll ask the questions like, how is this true? How does this make sense? How is this proof of anything? Let me know. If you don't have the answer, then you're no better than me as far as our understanding and positions on it. So if you don't have proof and I don't have proof, we're both just as valid as far as whether we think something is right or wrong. But there was a Jewish rapper who was asked about Nick Cannon's comments. So like I said, going back to the post, why was what Nick Cannon said problematic, or why was it considered anti-Semitism? Here's his response. Nick Cannon is problematic because he claims to fight white supremacy, but has combined Jews into white supremacy and running the world. White supremacy targets Jews and blacks together. Nick is using the positive fuel of the current civil rights movements for justice to end police brutality and combining it with hateful rhetoric from Farrakhan, who calls Jews termites and Satan, to create basic statements of Jews having too much power and controlling the banks. This divisive commentary is meant to divide Jews and blacks who marched side by side in the first civil rights movement. Nick's rhetoric is the same rhetoric that led to the Jersey City and Marseille, New York attacks on Jews in December of 2019. If you look at the statistics, Jews are the most targeted minority in America for hate crimes. We are less than 0.2% of the world's population. To give it context of how bad it is, Chuck D kicked Professor Griff out of Public Enemy for being anti-Semitic, and Nick joined him on his show and applauded him, saying, "We are fake Jews and they are the real Hebrews." I met Nick and he surely didn't speak any Hebrew to me. I must, Cannon has offered, it doesn't have, here it is. Okay. Another comment from Nick. I have dedicated my daily efforts to continue conversations to bring the Jewish community and the African-American community closer together, embracing our differences and sharing our commonalities. through the guidance of my multicultural team, which embodies several people from the Jewish community, specifically Michael Goldman, my business partner for 3 decades, who discovered me at the Hollywood Improv when I was doing stand-up as a kid. As we embark on this next incredible journey together, we will bring our 2 persecuted communities together like we always planned. He and so many gracious people from the Jewish community are showering me with love and helping to guide me to the promised land. Literally, I am excited to announce that I have been invited to Israel, which is a lifelong dream where I will receive teachings, lessons, and truth about the Jewish history. As someone who is in pursuit for my PhD in theology and divinity and just received a degree in criminal justice from the Great Howard University, this will be an enriching, enlightening, and overall exciting trip. But the rapper Kosha is not convinced and insists Cannon has a lot more to learn. Jewish people have received unanswered promises over the years. Nick needs a first-hand lesson and eye-to-eye experience with how Jews were killed for not being white. He should be invited to Auschwitz to see the concentration camps where my family was killed and millions of others have. He needs to understand Jews were quote unquote given Hollywood because it was trash before it became a thing. He needs to know Jews were in money lending because it was considered the worst profession to be in.
Yep.
He has to unlearn every conspiracy theory he has been taught. And sure, go to Israel and learn a bit, but he still has to be canceled because until he is, he will never learn the consequences, no matter how many Jewish business partners he has that don't call him out on his bullshit. Whew!
Yeah. So here's the thing. The history between Black people and Jewish people is a varied one. There have been times when we have not been aligned in interest. There are times when we have been. I believe just for the nature of how this planet is and how the people on this planet is, that will always be the case.
Ever.
Every single different group that has different histories, that has the different they're in different on different rungs of the societal ladder. The interests are not always going to align. There's always going to be room for criticism when people are looking out for their own self-interest and the self-interest of their community. That's always going to be the case.
Without question.
That said, when you promote shit that is being used as justification to kill people that have nothing to do with that shit, you got to sit back and question yourself and say, I don't want to be connected with that because I know very well how they do that same shit with my community.
Absolutely.
They do that exact same shit with my community, so I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? And just a couple of things. Indulge me. The whole thing about the Rothschilds.
Yeah.
Yo, y'all really need to update y'all conspiracies, man. Your conspiracies are almost over 200 years old.
Facts.
Okay, so just for the record, top 5.
Do me a favor. Please tell me you have the net worths of the surviving members of the family.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Look, I don't have all of them. I just have the one that right. matters, right?
Yeah.
But first, let me go into the 5 richest people in the world. Because your claim is that they are the richest family ever in existence or whatever, right? 5 richest people in the world. Jeff Bezos, net worth $116.9 billion. Bill Gates' net worth $99.9 billion. Bernard Arnault, worth $91.6 billion. Warren Buffett, $70.5 billion. Larry Ellison. And so these are the top 5, right? So, and mind you, this list is from March 30th, 2020, up to date, updated list. As far as the Rothschild, there's one billionaire in the Rothschild's family, Benjamin Rothschild. He's at 1.61 billion. Now listen, $1 billion is a lot.
That's a ridiculous amount of money.
That is a ridiculous amount of money. And in order to get $1 billion, I've made arguments for a long time that has to be a lot of exploitation. You can't show me the work you did that was worth that. Like, no, so you did some exploiting of people, and we can even talk about. Listen, I'm of the opinion that most of these vastly rich families have done some fuckery.
Right.
Some shit that has not been in the interest of poor people, has not been in the interest of black people specifically, has not been in the interest of society. It was all about them keeping power and retaining wealth. And we can have that conversation. The Rothschilds are no different. When they were one of the richest families on the planet, I'm sure they were engaged in some fuckery. That's not what we're saying. We're saying you need to update your information because y'all arguing about shit that's not even relevant now. It's not relevant now. And on top of that,
your auntie or your grandma or your uncle told you about it.
Yeah, exactly. You know damn well you didn't read or research any of this shit.
Right.
You know that this has been floating around in our community for decades. This has been floating around for decades. Not because somebody may have read it somewhere, but because they heard somebody, Rothschild. Oh, yeah, the Rothschilds. Like, also, I'm going to need for our celebrity class to take some seats right now.
A little bit.
Because I remember reading about the civil rights era and how a lot of our celebrities carried it back then. Y'all could take some clues from that, right? Stay on topic, my dude, because globally at this moment, we have never seen this. We had people all over the world focused in on issues that the black community cared about. All over the world, they were focused in on that.
Like I continue to say, I've never seen it before.
Right. So Marissa says it was that Zionist documentary. That's exactly what it was. Exactly what it was. So all over the world, they focused in, they was marching, they was doing all this shit. So what you need to do is capture the narrative. You don't want to alter it and beat it to the point where we can't recognize it because it's the narrative that's going to get a lot of these things done.
Right.
People accepting certain things and saying, you know what? It's time for a change. That's had to happen. You know how a good way for that to not happen and for the conversation to get completely off of what we needed on? For those in our community that are viewed as people with platforms, the celebrity class amongst us, but not just them, because it's other classes that are considered above the rank and file in the community. For y'all to get on y'all platforms saying this type of shit, making this the conversation, and then for all of you other motherfuckers that's running around here jumping out the window for these people, to then feed into it and turn it into an actual algorithm where I can just literally just type some shit in and I see a whole bunch of examples of people that look like us feeding into this. Because now the conversation changes. You know, them motherfuckers are just as bad as this. You know, them motherfuckers are they not really. You changing the narrative and you don't need to. What we need right now is for everybody to stay focused on what the fuck we want and what we need as a community. We don't need these other stray conversations. There was literally no reason for him to even have you don't. This is what I mean by not being able to read the temperature of the room.
Hold up. That is my thing. You want to talk about how multicultural your staff is and how your business partner for decades is a Jewish man. Did you talk to any of them before you decided to have Professor Griff on the fucking show?
Facts.
Again, for most people, they know him for being kicked out of Public Enemy, for being an
Now, to be fair, I was around back when all that happened. It wasn't that cut and dry. But essentially, that's what happened.
Right.
That's what happened. And
history loses detail.
It loses detail and nuance. But that's essentially what took place. And the reason I feel I got to put that out there because I'm trying to cut off somebody from saying, because look, I was there around that time when all that was happening. I wasn't a kid. I was aware of what the fuck was going on.
Right.
Chuck did not want to do it. The reason Chuck did it is because he didn't want to harm what they had built already.
The same thing we're saying now.
Right. The same,
literally the same thing we're saying.
Same thing we're saying now. Same thing we're saying. He didn't want to harm all the other shit they had built on the backs of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're saying now. And y'all jumping out the window for this man. I see y'all on all kinds of threads on Twitter. I see y'all on all kinds of threads on Facebook. I see all y'all jumping out the window for a guy who, let's just say 10 years ago, that's not what y'all wasn't on that energy 10 years ago. Y'all was not on the energy with Nick 10 years ago. So you willing to throw all the potential progress that we could make in this slice of time when the narrative is a certain way.
Because trust me, it's fleeting.
Because it's fleeting. You willing to throw all that away for Nick Cannon, a guy who don't even prioritize black women. Wait. I'm sorry.
We're going to talk about that.
I've said too much. I've said too much.
All right, so the next update in this whirlpool of a story. You can't fire a boss. Nick Cannon responds to Viacom after anti-Semitism accusations. All right. I'm sorry. I apologize. Nick Cannon has spoken out after Viacom fired him over accusations of anti-Semitism. The entertainer and media personality took to Facebook with a lengthy response detailing his history with the company. Despite the conglomerate playing a major part in Cannon's career, he asserted, "I will not be bullied, silenced, or continuously oppressed by any organization, group, or corporation. I am disappointed that Viacom does not understand or respect the power of the Black community." Let's stop right there. I'm a little torn.
This is a
over whether I should point this out, over whether I should point this out or not. But listen. Viacom does not understand or respect the power of the Black community. I would argue, you know what? Forget my opinion. Half of that is categorically false. They don't understand. What's wilding out?
Yeah.
Oh, they understand. BET continuing to, because they could have like what happens in a lot of acquisitions. They could have acquired BET and dissolved it into their other brands.
They could have. They did not.
They didn't. Though. Why? Because they understand. So that's categorically false. I digress. He listed his many accomplishments with the company, including the opportunity to become the youngest television chairman in history, placing the teen division of Viacom solely in my hands as an executive. He also detailed the success of his long-running show, Wilding Out. I feel like those first two are just kind of still manning Viacom because they didn't have to let you do those things.
But the other question to that is, you went into this with your eyes wide open, sir. The contracts that you signed, I can almost guarantee you that at the moment when he started making those deals, he was jumping up and down, doing cartwheels, going, "Yo, this is it. We made it!" Right? So you started out with your idea of success being connected to these organizations, to this business. You started out with that. So, my dude,
here's my question about that, though. I wouldn't necessarily say this is the norm or the majority, but we've seen people hold their employers accountable without being disrespectful, right?
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen it.
All right, so I got a question. Yeah, I got a question coming up because he hasn't said it yet. But
look, hold up. Sis says Viacom makes his money off the Black culture. It does. So they come on.
VH1.
How do they not know? They know.
They know.
They
know.
They know.
My time at Viacom also birthed one of my other greatest creative accomplishments, their longest running comedy series and the most successful hip hop programming in television history, Wilding Out. An idea in which I self-financed out of my own pocket and presented to MTV. I created $1 billion brand that expanded across a multi-tiered empire that is still Viacom's biggest digital brand, touring business, talent discovery, and incubation system, and successful restaurant Franchise Adequate has entered the building.
Oh shit! It's time to go. Oh,
Wilding Out. Cannon and Viacom's relationship to Wilding Out wasn't all good, however. According to him, based on trust and empty promises, my ownership was swindled away from me. For Viacom to be so deceptive is no surprise. They had been mistreating and robbing our community for years, underpaying talent on their biggest brands like Love and Hip Hop, all of BET programming, and of course, Wilding Out. Okay, so here's my question comes. Here's where my question comes.
Okay, all right.
If this is the case, why haven't you been holding them accountable publicly without being disrespectful?
Yeah, and also
now somebody tell me if I'm wrong.
Right.
But I've never heard Nick Cannon say a bad word about Viacom until now.
I haven't either. But I mean, to be
yes, Eddie, you came in
just the right time. To be fair, I don't really follow a lot of Nick Cannon's brain farts, so I don't. I
do by proxy. I do.
Right,
because of Hitman, Clips, Conceited,
Eminem.
I get that. So by proxy, I do get. Even Kevin on Stage, because his partner Doughboy got his start through Wildin' Out too. So by proxy, I'm privy to quite a bit of Nick Cannon's rhetoric in life.
Okay, so I know at some point he reinvented himself publicly. He started to get more connected. He tried to connect his brand more with that other side, that subculture of Pan-Africanism.
Yes, absolutely.
I know at some point he did that, and I don't know if he maybe he was always into it, but he never put it out in his public shit. I'm just saying, like you said, if they've been doing this shit for years, like you're accusing them of, which I don't
think he's lying.
I don't doubt you at all.
I don't think he's lying at all.
I think they have been doing it, but if that's the case, why is it only being brought up now?
Right.
When you're in trouble and you're looking for a way to swing back, so to speak, at them. Like why only now did you speak? Again, like I said, when before that ink was dry on those contracts, I guarantee you were cartwheeling, you were toasting, y'all went to the club, you was doing whatever it is you do to celebrate, going, we made it.
Yeah.
This is the thing that kills me about people. Like when he says the boss thing, a boss, yo, if you a boss.
Well, wait. We didn't get to that yet.
Okay, all right. I'm about to say a boss.
Cannon also accused Viacom of banning all advertisement that supported George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, who we are all still seeking justice for.
That might be.
He went on to say, it could absolutely be true. But again, I will mention, just to give all the facts, make of them what you will.
Right.
Nickelodeon did have a very surprising statement on Black Lives Matter.
Right.
In which they publicly, at least, basically bigged up the movement. So again, that's not saying that what he said is wrong.
Right.
That may have been them doing their little bit.
Yeah.
Because again, I haven't heard of it being anywhere except for Nickelodeon.
Right.
So it is what it is. Let me see. Cannon also accused Viacom of lying in their press release announcing his termination. For them to take it one step further and flat out lie in their official press release, saying that I didn't attempt to reconcile the situation, when on 2 separate occasions I specifically acknowledged and openly requested a forum to be corrected. Malcolm X said it best: the media is the most powerful entity on earth. It will have you hating the people being oppressed and loving the people doing the oppressing, making the innocent guilty and the guilty innocent. Cannon also said that he's received death threats, hate messages, calling me an ungrateful nigger and beyond. I'm certain.
Listen, the thing about that, Nick, is that I'm pretty sure you received those, and you shouldn't have. And it's horrible and it's terrible, and ain't nobody riding for that. I will ride for you against that sort of shit to the ends of the earth. But you need to understand something. People who have done far less negative and far more positive shit have gotten those exact same things from these people. Mind you, a lot of the people that are going to send you this stuff, they also believe the same shit you were saying on your show.
Oh, yeah.
This is the thing people not understanding. You're in
Well,
Your enemies.
Marissa just said, and I'm glad she reminded me of this. And they took an 8 minutes of silence on air.
See,
on some of their platforms.
Why is that significant? Because that 8 minutes symbolizes
George Floyd, specifically
8 minutes.
George Floyd.
When they snuffed his life out in 8 minutes. That's
so again. This is not. I want to make it clear. We are not absolving Viacom of any racist ideologies.
Y'all already know our points on that. You already know our position on that. None of these companies. We go from the our standard take. Y'all don't really give a fuck. This is branding,
right?
That's besides the point of what we're
like.
Talking
always
about
keep that in the back of your head.
Exactly.
Always keep that in the back of your head when we're talking about these type of people. So Cannon went on to say, Viacom's goal to keep me from providing for my family and lineage will be foiled. All right, slow your brakes, brother.
Aren't they responsible for him?
I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know. Like, all right, prime example. If I do matter of fact, if I made a statement like Nick Cannon made, I would be fired from my job. Because my job is run by Jewish people. I would be fired from my job.
And you should.
That would not then be them having a goal to keep me from providing for my family,
right? And
lineage,
right.
Because they stopped paying you. You're Nick Cannon,
right?
You got a net worth of 60 million,
right? Your
baby mother net worth is half a billion.
Right.
What do we like now? Which is interesting because I wonder
if they fired you right now, would you be destitute? No.
Yeah, not quite.
You'd be all right.
Yeah. Y'all here's the thing. My question, I do wonder. It's not really on topic, but I wonder if he got any like spousal support.
Oh, it's entirely possible. At least
I would imagine so, right? Because she has way more money than him.
Right.
But anyway, I don't know how that whole thing works. But anyway,
I don't either.
That's just a quick question. Cannon went on to say that he's received an outpouring of love from the Jewish community, despite Viacom's accusation that he made anti-Semitic
I'd love to see it. I'd love
statements.
to see it. Let's see it.
I have spoken with many rabbis, clergy, professors, and coworkers who offer their sincere help. See, that's again why I hate certain media platforms,
right.
Because that's not what he said.
Right.
They are interjecting their thoughts into it.
Yeah.
The whole, despite Viacom's accusations that he made anti-Semitic. No, he's already copped to them being anti-Semitic. He's apologized because his point was, I didn't know.
That's
and
what he was saying. Yeah.
I won't call him a liar for that because, like I said, the way that we have to explain it to people, I understand somebody not making that connection.
Right.
Especially if you're never around any Jews.
Right.
It's the same thing. This is why bigotry like fucks my head up from black people, because all you have to do is substitute black people into the scenario and you should be right at home.
Yeah.
Like I don't get, but anyway, I digress. I've spoken with many rabbis, clergy, professors, and coworkers who offer their sincere help. I must apologize to my Jewish brothers and sisters for putting them in such a painful position, which was never my intentions. But I know this whole situation has hurt many people, and together we will make it right. I have dedicated my daily efforts to continuing conversations to bring the Jewish community and the African American community closer together, embracing our differences and sharing our commonalities.
Yo, you realize this was not supposed to be the conversation right now.
Yeah.
This was not, but he had to make it that. And again, I don't feel like a lot of y'all are feeling bad from that. I see it. I don't.
I don't feel bad for somebody whose net worth is $60 million.
Come on, he's straight.
I don't.
Yo, and here's the thing that's crazy, right? So
hold up before you do that. Marissa goes on, and it was 8 valuable minutes of $1 million 30-second advertising money.
Facts.
So not only did they speak up and say Black Lives Matter, they lost money to do so. That's significant.
It is.
That is absolutely
it is
significant.
It is. I mean, again, what we've said on the show before is that we really don't give a fuck if they believe, if they really care or not. We are more
we care about the narrative. You putting the narrative out there,
the narrative,
cool.
Right? And the results matter more because the fact is, my narrative will always be: none of these motherfuckers will care until you have the power to make them care. Till you have the power to make them do it despite not caring. That's all that I care about. Like all that other shit does not matter. But to be clear on this is not the conversation we needed to be. Our community did not need to have this conversation right now. Right. We really didn't, because this conversation has been had before. It's caused hurt. It's caused
and so many people don't understand.
Some people don't understand. Like this is. Y'all don't know how to win. That's why I'm leaving. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Y'all don't know how to win, man. Y'all do not know how to fucking win.
So in one of the groups, some people were we're commenting things like that on some of these posts. Like, this is not what we should be doing at this time. Like, we shouldn't be talking about this. Like, this stuff is not necessarily important. Shouldn't be at the forefront right now.
No,
and you had a bunch of people responding to him. Why not? What's wrong with being educated? Blah blah this blah blah. Y'all don't have y'all lack focus.
Hold up. They say what's wrong with being educated.
Because again, they're conflating two things.
Yes, they are.
They're using their belief as fact.
That's what it is. I just got to say this to you.
Y'all, any of y'all anthropologists?
I was about to say, pull up with your history class scores from high school. You sitting there talking this dumb shit. Pull up with that. I want to say, because that's basic. Most of the shit they taught you in high school, to be quite frankly, is bullshit, and you couldn't get that. Some of y'all didn't get that. Like when you go to college,
rudimentary,
you start learning like actual history, start getting into detail. You go, oh, okay. Why was they on that shit in high school? Yeah, most stuff they teach you there is watered down, and you couldn't even pass that.
Nah,
but you sit there, why not get educated? Yo, listen.
Yeah,
half of y'all haven't even read any of that anywhere. You heard other people saying it, or you watch, like Marissa pointed out, some documentary somewhere. You ain't do no fact check on none of that shit. Because if you did, you wouldn't be running around here acting like the Rothschilds have more money than everybody on the planet. That's not true. That's not true. It's not.
All right. So fast forwarding, his final ask: I demand full ownership of my $1 billion Wild 'N Out brand that I created, and they will continue to misuse and destroy without my leadership. I demand that the hate and backdoor bullying cease. And while we are at it, now that the truth is out, I demand the apology. Here's the thing about that. Nick, my guy, you aren't in position to be making demands.
You really are.
Not from them.
Not at all.
There's literally nothing. You have no leverage. They fired you already.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that, because some people don't know this, and it's not helpful to keep saying he was fired.
Right.
Contracts, a vast majority of contracts contain a morality clause.
Yep.
If you violate the morality clause, your contract can be voided.
Right. Absolutely.
That means that those rights to Wild 'N Out, the little bit that he had left, they gone. That means they don't owe him anything.
No, they don't.
Now, I don't know about the specificities of his contract and whether they still paying him because of something that may have been already in place.
Yeah, that happens a lot too.
But outside of anything like that, they don't owe him anything. You will not get. All right, I won't say will not, because in the event that
he has a golden parachute, parachute, he might have a golden parachute.
I would say in the event that Viacom is more magnanimous than we're giving them credit for, it's possible that they could give him Wild 'N Out, right? It's possible. Right. I don't see it happening, but it's possible.
The thing, though, y'all. If you like, all right, so
it's stupid business wise.
I'm a black business owner.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I hire somebody outside of my community because they're qualified for the job.
Mm-hmm.
And they come to work, and then one day they go into a racist tirade of epic proportions, spewing all kinds of crazy white supremacist rhetoric and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to keep you there?
No.
Let's say you're not an employee. You're more of an independent contractor. So now it's a little bit on the even playing field because your independent contract work is like a business. That's a business for you, right? And then one day you come there to do my whatever I'm paying you to do, and you launch into some racist tirade, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. Am I really going to keep you around?
Probably not.
No.
And me personally, listen, I'm petty as fuck. You ain't getting what you brought here either.
No. Oh, yeah, because you came with a certain amount of blood in your body.
Yeah.
When you leave, you're not going to have all of some of that's going to be gone. I'm going to beat your motherfucking ass before I send you out this door.
Listen,
yeah, you're right.
Listen, yes, he is the creator of Wilding Out. That is that's not up for dispute at all. That's a fact.
Facts.
However, he really doesn't seem to have any recourse to force their hand.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a pipe dream. And I'm fairly certain they canceled it immediately. Because, and I know at least that next episode that was supposed to come up, it was preempted by Fresh Prince reruns.
Right.
so
again,
I kind of think they canceled it completely, and they might just let it sit on the shelf for real.
Right.
I mean,
first of all, adequate ass. Secondly, Marissa says,
you guys are okay with finish petty. That's funny.
Here's the asses.
That's funny.
Marissa says, meanwhile, everybody has nothing better to do than create new content. Creative concepts are not in shortage.
No.
Facts, though. Like, facts.
They're not.
Come on. Again, we got to understand how a lot of this works. People have an idea, especially in the entertainment world. They have an idea, or they're an actor, or they're a singer, or whatever, right? And traditionally, there are these gateway organizations, corporations, whatever, that people bust their ass to get the attention of. And then once they get the attention, hopefully they hope that the corporation sees that they can make money with them, right? And then signs them to a lucrative deal. And then in the process of doing that, they sign over a lot of the rights of their intellectual property to these larger companies. This has been happening in the music industry. It happens in Hollywood. It happens in almost every entertainment
pretty much
field.
Any creative
field. It happens there, even in sports, believe it or not, because that footage belongs to that your favorite football player running across that field, doing that hell of a catch and run. That is
footage that cannot be copied without the express written consent of the NFL.
Exactly. Like so again, his mindset from day one was to get noticed and then get that contract, and it worked, right?
It worked.
Your mindset was not fuck these gatekeepers. Right. I have this thing here. I'm going to build this myself up to a point where if I do make a deal with them, it becomes a partnership. It doesn't become me working for them, and they don't get intellectual any kind of intellectual ownership over this right now. That's not happening, right?
Yeah.
So your mentality going into it was that, and I'm not blaming him for that because at the time when Nick got started, that was the thing.
He couldn't have done it other way. Any other way.
There was there wasn't enough platforms available.
It wouldn't have worked outside of MTV.
Exactly.
Like it might have worked on BET, but I don't think they owned BET at the time.
Exactly. But again, even with that, if he'd have went to BET, he still would have had to sign away a portion of his intellectual rights. So again, you went into this with that.
Yeah.
So you had to know that you were, for all intents and purposes, a puppet with strings
Yeah.
And they can cut those strings.
Literally his only thing on his side is sympathy.
Yeah.
And that don't move companies.
Well, it's hard to go the sympathy route when it's hard for them to feel sympathetic to you when you said what you said. 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 You know what I'm saying? And then like y'all can double down on the shit he said all you want. That does not change the fact that what you have successfully done, at least this far, hopefully we can do something about that, is you change the narrative. And now people talking about this and not talking about the things that would have benefited our community. You're not helping. You're not helping. Because
can't fire a boss. Listen to me clearly.
I'm putting that on a shirt, yo.
I have at my job, I have a boss. Guess what that boss has?
What?
A boss.
Oh shit.
Ipso facto, a boss can be fired.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even have to use the analogy. Nick, you got fired.
Yeah. Yo, listen, Adequate makes a good point. This has been my whole take on my branding from the first time I started getting multiple people who I never met before in life that was liking what I was doing. He says, I was telling SPJ yesterday that I would always put my brand above my opinion, especially if my opinion has a possibility of being toxic to others. This is the whole thing about that. Now, some of y'all might dispute that and say, but y'all should be able to listen. There are bigger battles to be fought. One of the biggest battles is capital. Having capital to be able to do all these lofty dreams and goals that a lot of us have that will actually help the community. You got to kind of have that part of it. You won't get any of that because it's not so much. I'm gonna tell you something, man. The problem with a lot of y'all is y'all actually talk too much, and do too little,
nigga.
Stop talking about it and do it.
I am well aware of the ways that you can ingratiate yourself to the person that you're talking to in order to potentially have a better chance to change their mind, right?
Right.
I am not here for that.
Nah.
If I say that your idea is stupid as fuck and you take that as me being ad hominem and calling you stupid,
right.
You are doing more to prove the point that you thought I made.
Exactly.
I have no desire or reason to call any of you individually stupid.
Right.
That is not at all my intention. But if you say some dumb shit that gets circulated and regurgitated throughout society and you just believed it because you heard other people say it, I'm going to call it stupid because it is stupid. It is this. What you're doing is an extension of this idea that the First Amendment protects people from
consequences.
It does not. It protects you from the government.
That's right.
It does not protect you from your job.
That's right.
Does not protect you from getting punched in your fucking mouth.
That's right.
Does not protect you from being sued by somebody.
That's right.
Does not protect you from having somebody pick somebody else for the job opportunity. Does not protect you from any of these things. It protects you from being persecuted by the government.
That's it. As proof of what you're saying, that it doesn't protect you from getting, that's why they have libel and slander laws in this.
They're real things.
They're real things. These are things that you said. This is right. These are things that you said. You can be sued for that. Yes. You can be sued for that. So it's like a lot of y'all want to die on the hill of the whole free speech thing, but don't really even understand what that actually entails.
No idea what it really
means. You don't know what that even entails. You know what I'm saying? Look, here's the reality. The reality of the situation is, shit!
Oh, we have a celebrity appearance.
Oh shit!
The first one out of the crew. God damn it! You buried the lead.
I'm going to all the time. I'm the dead man. Of course, I'm burying the lead. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I hate your guts. But yes, we have a celebrity in the building, Jaded Nerd. has joined the conversation. What up, Brody? But yeah, yo, like y'all.
I don't have any information about that.
My bad.
Hey, yo, what's that? What's that?
That's Google.
Google,
I don't know why she.
Yo,
I don't know why she decided to butt into our conversation, but
she
it is
knows
what it
it.
is.
Hold
She
up.
knows it. I mean,
we gotta highlight something Marissa said here because damn, she didn't understand again. We gotta highlight something that Marissa said in the post because this is the entire point. Particularly when our likeness comprises no more than 15% of the population. Capital is imperative.
Facts.
All this stuff
No
y'all
questions
say y'all
asked.
want to do, y'all want to do this. I want to do it too. But the way y'all going about it, y'all don't understand that a big part of that is keeping the narrative where it's beneficial to us.
Absolutely.
Not having that shit straight off to a point where everybody is looking like, I just don't really feel all that empathetic to them anymore. Like, that's not.
When you remove the stones, you create an alternative timeline. And oh, my bad. The point is, I mean, it applies though. It applies. Yeah, when you create these tangents, there are a certain percentage of the people that are paying attention that are going to veer off with it.
Absolutely.
And they may not come back.
They may not come back. Their attention has been diverted.
Right.
And now they're not interested anymore. And like, yo, we were in a good way. So what I would like to not happen, I would like for it not to be Nick Cannon that derailed all of this shit, this momentum.
I agree.
If y'all niggas let Nick Cannon be the one that derails all of this, a pox on you. And this is the
what?
This is the reason why I'm leaving.
Well,
this is the reason I don't have an army here. Y'all don't know how to win.
Now you're right. I ain't gonna hold you. I have a response later, but right now you got that. You can have that. I ain't even mad at. Let's continue. Nick Cannon to remain on Fox show after Viacom CBS fired him over anti-Semitic comments. Now, Nick Cannon is keeping his job as the host of the competition series, The Masked Singer, following his apology for recent anti-Semitic remarks. Fox announced this decision after Viacom CBS fired him from his improv show, Wildin' Out, due to his anti-Semitic comments on a recent podcast. Cannon has since apologized. In a statement, Fox said it believes this moment calls for dialogue and will help him advance what it called an important conversation. When we were made aware of Nick Cannon's interview with Griff on YouTube, we immediately began a dialogue with Nick. He is clear and remorseful that his words were wrong and lacked both understanding and context, and inadvertently promoted hate. This was important for us to observe. Nick has sincerely apologized and quickly taken steps to educate himself and make amends.
Look, listen, Fox is grown, right? So they're going to do what they want to do. Let me just say this, though. I think Fox is full of shit. I think that, to be honest with you, I've heard this sort of thing before for right-wingers when they say something crazy and then, oh, no, but we think that, they fairly understand it. Whatever. It's whatever with that. Nick, you kept a job, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Get your money, bro. Do what you need to do. Continue to stack or whatever.
Get the best out of this. Yeah.
Get the best out.
Take advantage.
Take advantage of it. Yo, just please, for the love of everything that has to do with reparations, for the love of everything that has to do with changing certain things in the society that we are tired of dealing with for the last 400 fucking years.
Facts.
Keep your pie hole shut and do your work. Just do it.
Yeah.
Don't talk. We don't. Yo, nobody's looking to you for education. Yo, nobody's looking to you for that.
A history of saying things that may or may not be completely accurate, for lack of a better way to say that. We don't want to. Yo, Ixnay, some of your crackpot theories have. Regardless. So Nick Cannon clapped back at 50 Cent, who joked about him getting fired.
50 on a roll, yo. 50 on a roll.
So what I will say is, I saw this several times, and it's pretty much perfect every time I see it. 50 Cent spends his entire career reminding people daily why he got shot 9 times.
Hey, yo, first of all, y'all niggas is trash for this. And let me just say let me just say this. Look, when
I thought about it, I was
listen,
when I first heard it, I was like, yo, that's terrible. But then I kept seeing it as he kept doing things. And I'm like, all right.
Listen.
I ain't gonna say you wrong. Listen. Hey, but anyway.
Listen. We don't
Nick
know
Cannon,
that's why that man got shot. I'll stop it.
Stop it. Listen.
Stop
it. 50 Cent. Nick Cannon ain't here for the trolling. 50 Cent decided to chime in on Nick Cannon getting fired from Viacom over comments he made about white people. Again, that's another thing. This narrative has been twisted and twisted. And that's one of the reasons so many black people are on his side, because it's like the narrative is coming out that he got fired for comments about white people. And that's why so many black people are on his side, because they're not doing their research. And for some of it, it might be harder because I believe the episode has been pulled from YouTube. So some people can't actually go back and hear what he said.
He actually said, right.
Yeah. So
but a lot of this is about the fact that there's a certain segment of the Jewish community that may identify as white.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
it's a conflation of it. Yeah.
They're conflating.
Yeah. It's a conflation of a couple things. But anyway, on Fifth's Instagram account, 50 jokingly posted a picture of comedian Michael Blackson and said he has a new show starring him called Out Wild. In the caption, 50 wrote, "Tune into my new show, Out Wild, starring Michael Blackson. It's kind of like a show that got canceled. LOL." Well, Nick Cannon didn't find that funny. He commented back under the shade room and said, "Ha ha ha. It be your own people. Feels like when the game came in and took over G Unit. Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie." Now, listen, stop real quick. People ask, ever since Nick started being on this Pan-African thing, people have been asking all this stuff that Nick Cannon does for black people, and you want to keep asking if y'all want to call him corny. This is why. This is why he's corny. He's corny as fuck.
First of all, this ain't even funny. That's number one. That's not funny. Number two, it's not even true. Like it's not like it's not even close to being true.
It's not the same thing.
That's not what happened. It's not what happened. Also, again, like you said, people have revisionist history. Y'all turning this man into Malcolm X, and I'm going to ask you one more time, and you need to think about this really carefully. Is this your king? Is this your king? All right. All right. I see you.
The reason that we call Nick Cannon corny.
Why do we call him corny?
Actually, I'll just speak for me. You know what?
Why do you call him corny?
His rap lyrics are terrible.
Horrible. Absolutely the worst ever.
He's not good at that particular thing.
He's not good.
He's an amazing businessman. And I think what happens is I'm very intentional and specific and observant about things. And from time to time, I forget that everybody else isn't necessarily
That's a fact.
the same. So people will look at the success of Wildin' Out and consider it a testament to how funny Nick Cannon is. No.
Right.
No. Nick Cannon, Wildin' Out has never been about Nick Cannon. Ever.
Right.
Not one season of that show has been about Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
It has been about the Just Hilariouses, the Kevin Harts, the Cat Williams, the
using the labor of other people,
the Affion Crockett's, the DC Young Flies, the Emmanuel Sanders.
He's a great.
I can go on.
He's a great capitalist.
His talent is being a very good businessman and a very good opportunist.
Yeah,
those are his talents, and he may be one of the best as far as people we see on a regular basis.
Right.
He might be legitimately one of the best in the world as far as the people that we see on a regular basis at being a businessman.
Right.
100%.
He's very adept at utilizing other people's labor.
Yes, you cannot take that from him.
Yeah.
1000%. That is his superpower. He gets an A+. For my anime and certain fighting game fans, he gets an S.
Right.
He gets an
Hey,
S.
yo,
in that.
Jay the Nerd called him the Black Ryan Seacrest.
That's funny. I mean, listen, because that goes along with his hosting gigs. You know, he
Yeah,
did Americans
true.
Got Talent.
Very
He
true.
does The Masked Singer. You know, he is very good at marketing him.
Right.
Not that he's particularly talented in any other arena, but
he's good at marketing stuff. Also,
that doesn't really matter.
This is the other thing. This is what I think he forgot. He excelled at presenting a safe Negro image. They liked him because he was safe. The moment you break that, that was how you got in.
Switched when he started wearing that turban.
Yeah, yo, all that switched. I'm gonna give a classic example. Take an Ice Cube. Ice Cube came in the game dangerous.
Yeah.
He might say it.
Yeah.
This nigga might say it.
Yeah.
He came in with that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't. So when you got, like, Ice Cube made his bones off of that shit, right? So it's baked in the cake. It's what people expected from him. That wasn't you, homie. You didn't come in there with that. So you came in safe. And I ain't even mad at you for doing that. Everybody got their little different ways of getting on. I don't care how you got on, like, within reason, as long as you're taking your resources that you gain from that and helping, you know, doing the right thing, doing positive things with it. I don't care.
Yeah, he wasn't selling anybody out.
No, he wasn't doing
like he wasn't. As far as I know, he was never been on no shady shit, nothing like that.
Right.
Been on the up and up. Been offering opportunities to other people of color. Like, for those things, he should be celebrated.
He should be celebrated for those things. That's why when you come out and then now want to be the dangerous, you want to put a turban on, you want to be dangerous. It doesn't fit the image of what they gave you money for. They gave you money because you wasn't that. It's like what like what Jada said, Black Ryan Seacrest. He ain't controversial. He getting up there, he gonna host and he gonna do his thing. That's not why they gave you money, yo. It's not.
Should I inject my opinion here? I feel like some people may be mad at what I'm about to say.
Okay.
He then married and had babies with the whitest black woman. Never mind. Anyway.
Yo, you stupid.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Jaden said,
I thought he was pushing a Johnny Quest reboot with that turban. That's hilarious.
Hashtag Haji. Hey, yo, your ass.
But yeah, he's never been particularly
funny,
talented in any other arena. Like funny.
He couldn't rap.
Rapping. Yeah, his acting is like
mediocre.
Yeah, like but as far as that business, getting to that bag,
yeah, he knows how to get to the bag.
Top tier.
But I don't know. See, this thing I don't understand, right? Like, I don't know why he thought that the best usage of his time, the best usage of his skills and resources was to try to come off like yo, even if that's something he's always thought, because it could be. Like I said, he presented a different way though, and that's how you were getting your money. And yo, if you doing that shit behind the scenes, and you're doing revolutionary things behind the scenes, but this is what you're doing publicly to get the money to see that, yo, I'm with you.
Absolutely.
But then you can't. Gregory Wilder says, can't play revolutionary and cry when you get martyred.
That's a fact.
It's a fact, yo. It's a fact.
That is perfect. Yes,
it's a fact.
That's perfect.
It's a fact.
Like, no, it doesn't work out that way.
Listen, I'm just gonna be. I'm gonna be very clear. Get your money as long as you're not hurting other people, hurting your community. Get your money to do the things that you want to do, but don't be stupid. And the moment you get a platform, don't piss it all away because you want to appear deep. Like, yo, that shit is dumb. That shit is dumb as yo. Do you know the amount of work that had to go into him getting to where he's at? I'll give you a hint. If you knew the amount of work that it takes for us to do what we're doing on this level, why piss it all away because you want to appear to be deep?
I promise you, It is like from what I get, it is what you said. Now, as much as I call him corny, I'm not talking about necessarily him personally.
No, you're talking about how way he presents his
yeah, I'm talking
content and all
about the
that.
rap, the jokes, like that. Most of that stuff is corny. So, but I don't ever get a vibe from him about being fake.
Nah.
I do believe that these are necessary. These are kind of like his thoughts and feelings that he's had. But I think that he honestly didn't consider that it would be so problematic.
And can we address the corny shit again for a second? Because I know what people, I know how the conversation around that was happening.
Yeah.
Here you have the Terry Cruzes running around saying they don't like me because I'm corny.
Yeah.
Then you have various other people that have been wanting to make this argument about that. There are layers to corn. There are layers that there are harmless corny people, completely harmless. And then there are those of you that are taking that and trying to apply yourself to under that. They don't like me because I'm corny. And it becomes a catch-all word for nerd, blah, 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 this, that, and other. Some of y'all ain't that. I know you want to be like Terry Crews ain't that. Terry Crews is not a nerd. Listen, let's stop that. Terry Crews is not a nerd. He's too ill-informed to be a nerd.
Yeah.
But what he is corny. And y'all trying to lump all corny dudes in the same category.
All corniness is not created equal.
All corniness and all corny dudes aren't anti-black or aren't detrimental to our community. A lot of these corny dudes are necessary for our community.
Corny isn't always a pejorative.
No, it's not.
Like dad jokes are corny.
And look, I'm a dad, and y'all know my jokes be corny.
He enjoys a good he enjoys a good dad joke. Shit, I enjoy a really good dad joke.
So much so, I thought you had some kids out here.
See? Perfect example. That was the corniest thing that anybody has said on this show in the last year. But and that's not to say corniness isn't to be enjoyed. Yeah. When I was younger, I liked Gigolo. I watched Love Don't Cost a Thing. I thought it was a cool Drumline. I love the Drumline. Listen, again, I understand why. I get why. I have no reason to doubt why you would hate Drumline, but I loved it.
Too old for that.
This is not. I'm not trying to paint him as talentless.
No, because he's not.
No, completely. Because there are so many other people. Actually, you know what? That kind of goes with my point. There are so many other people who actually would have been better at any of those things, but he had the skill to maneuver himself into the
position to do that, and that in itself is to be admired, right? It's to be admired, because listen, man, the one thing I've learned after all of this time is you got to kind of get to the bag. They've created a society where the only way you really win is if you can get to the bag. So for those of you that have found a way to get to the bag without compromising your community, without compromising other people and all of that, if it's just your own self-image, I'm going to be this guy for this so I can get this money. I congratulate you. Yo, you went and did that. You did that. But you can't then turn around and distract everybody from the conversations that we need to be having to have this. And then also giving cover for some of the worst and most uninformed and toxic among us to then become the spokespeople for us on all these fucking tweets and goddamn Facebook threads. The most ill-informed, the worst intentioned ones among us now feel like they have an opening to then present themselves like they represent what we all think about these topics. That's the part I got a problem with. You have the same problem I have with Trump. You have unleashed the idiots and given with a bullhorn. And now they're all over the place doing what I hate them to do the most. This. I hate them to do this the most. Talk. Like, no, stop it. And you pretty much done that. Now I got to see that for the next few weeks. And in the process of that happening, it erodes goodwill. The way movements work, because especially when you are, like Marissa pointed out before, less than 15% of the population, movements move forward because of goodwill. Because the goodwill of other people that are outside of your community that see validity in your cause and say, yo, yeah, we stand with that. That's how movements move forward. But if you erode that goodwill with meaningless bullshit like this, you then can't complain that you didn't get anything done when you were instrumental in us not getting it done because you had to engage in this bullshit. Like, y'all don't know how to win. That's why I'm fucking leaving.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know how to fucking win.
Right. Hey, reel it back, big fella.
Sorry.
All right. So this other point, I just actually looked this article up because I wanted to talk about it a little bit more in depth. Nick Cannon. Now black people turned on me after apology to Jewish people. Nick Cannon is at his wit's end over his anti-Semitic comments and his apology for them. He clearly feels he's in a no-win situation, and now some fans are concerned about his well-being. The Masked Singer host let his frustrations out Thursday night, saying, "I hurt an entire community and it pained me to my core. I thought it couldn't get any worse. Then I watched my own community turn on me and call me a sellout for apologizing." He added, "Good night. Enjoy Earth."
So wait a minute.
An hour later,
he's leaving?
An hour later, he followed that up tweeting, "Y'all can have this planet. I'm out."
So he is leaving. Somebody call SpaceX because he might be talking about getting on a. I mean, listen, if he look, first of all, I can see where someone might think that, but I don't think that's what's happening. I think he might, in this fit of emotional distress,
fall back for a little bit.
He might fall back. I got $60 million in the bank.
Yeah.
Fuck, I need this talk for. Like, I can literally be on a beach anywhere in the world if you unfortunately you happen to be born in a leper colony state and shit, a failed state and shit.
Right.
But yeah, before all this, he could have been on any beach in the world and not deal with none of this, not have to hear shit on social media, not have to have these articles, not have to have these, not to have us two assholes on here completely throwing spears at him. Like, he don't have to deal with that. And maybe that, I think that could be what he's talking. Like, yo, you know what? I'm checking out. I'm checking out.
Yeah.
Y'all can have it. I lost the job. You know what I'm saying? But to be in truth, I had already put in so much work and made so much coin. It's not that I actually needed. I was really just stacking. But I got a lot where I can just sit down. Because trust me, if you give me half of what he has, I'm going to sit down and just build some shit for other. Yo, you probably would never see me on any of these shows again. These shows would still exist. We would just have different hosts. we would just have different hosts and shit.
Bruh.
You know,
completely. All right, update. W. Kamal Bell, huge fan of his, comments on the situation. Nick's anti-Semitic remarks, he calls them a sign. He says Nick Cannon's anti-Semitic comments were wrong, full stop. But he has a theory about how Nick got himself into this bigoted mess. The United States of America host told us he thinks Nick wanted to show that he supports the black community no matter what. So he leaned into to defend Professor Griff and repeat some of Minister Farrakhan's preachings. Kamal joined on TMZ Live Thursday when he suggested Nick can still be a strong voice for African Americans, but it should be done without promoting divisive and anti-Semitic ideals. As we reported, Cannon has since apologized, and Fox has said he'll remain host of The Masked Singer. Kamal's show returns to CNN on Sunday night for his 5th season. All right. So, yeah, that's it's that simple. Here, the issues with the people, the issues with how we choose leaders is we go towards the charismatic people with little to no regard over whether they actually know what they're talking about.
Right. Right.
For you to come out and say such strong words, and then one conversation with a rabbi made you do a complete 360 on your stance.
Right.
That means you didn't know what you were talking about.
That means you had heard these things because, like I said earlier in the show, a lot of this has been floating around our community for decades.
Yeah.
And I was telling SBJ before the show, I have read books on this shit back when I was in my 20s, and these books were old. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So these tropes.
So that was like 70 years ago.
See, here you go.
That you wrote. That you read the book.
Yo, your timeline be off. When you remove the stones from out of specific places in the timeline, your timeline is all fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
All fucked up. All I know is none of these things are new. They've been floating around for a while. He said it out loud. This ain't the first time they've been said out loud. See, for those of you that had just came on the scene to be an adult in a certain time, they were literally having these same conversations when on Donahue years ago. They were literally having this exact same conversation. Good old Phil Donahue. I don't know. I know he's still progressive as a motherfucker. Last I heard, he's progressive as fuck. But yeah, they was having. I've been hearing all of this. These discussions have been being had, and he's been floating around in the community. And I'm not saying that he hasn't read it somewhere, but I would say to y'all is, you have to vet the material that you're reading. Like just because it has a dope cover and it's about a topic that you're interested in, that doesn't mean that everything that's being said in this book has any shred of evidence to support it.
You know what?
Like
I would go further. Read that book. Yeah. Believe everything in it. But my thing is, understand what we're dealing with right now.
Right.
This is not the time. My question that I asked.
This is a good point you're about to bring up.
My question that I asked in one of those groups that nobody wanted to touch. Except obviously the people that were agreeing with me, because that's how that works. Let's say he's right. How does that help us with what we're talking about?
It doesn't.
How does that help us at all with what we're talking about? Because if you know yourself, you can stop and listen to what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
How does, I say that this is 100% right. How does knowing this quote unquote fact help us with what we're dealing with currently? The big issue, not issues you might have individually, not whether or not you feel like your identity is represented. That's no. With what we're talking about now, the conversation that was the center point of the world.
Yeah.
Systemic racism to minorities in general, Black people in specific, in the world in general, and the United States specific.
Right.
How does this help that?
It doesn't. It
does not.
It reminds me of people that are always spewing anti-government rhetoric, which I can understand because the government ain't shit.
Right.
But I always say to them, so what's your plan, Chief?
Right.
Are you going to get together the Rebel Alliance? Are they going to go and actually do something? Because if you're not, this is really a waste of time, and breath, and effort. And I kind of feel like with this, this is one of the other problems of what he said, because there are nutbags that will, like you're keeping that around into the algorithm. There are nutbags with these thoughts dripping through their brain that will grab a gun and walk through one of the synagogues or places with Jewish people and shoot them the same way we had a Dylan Roof. You know what? I guarantee you that somewhere in Dylan Roof's head, the same ideology was floating in his head.
Yeah.
And it was because it's being kept around. That's what I mean. It's no different the way Dylan Roof felt about black people. He heard narratives about us that's been floating around his community.
And then he might have
years.
had one or two experiences that fed his confirmation bias.
Right. And then what did he do? He goes into a church and he massacres people.
Wait, not only that, he goes into the church under false pretenses.
Yeah.
He prays with them.
Yeah.
And then shoots them.
Yeah.
That was fueled by something.
And the fact that happened, listen, I can't ride with y'all if y'all on that. If y'all on, y'all don't care about that shit that happened to people just because they're not part of, I can't ride with that because I am not a devil. So y'all can be that if you choose. If you want to be that, that's you. But I'm not riding with that. As a matter of fact, we've said this numerous times on this show. I am not going to be utilizing the talking points of my open enemies. That shit's not happening. I'm over here with it. They over there. And rest assured,
it can't be a thing.
Rest assured, what that guy did in that Jewish synagogue, he did that in the black church too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not riding with that.
No.
But again, that's why I'm leaving, because y'all don't know how to win. Y'all don't know how to fucking win, man.
I cannot deal with you. Stop the fucker. But anyway,
I don't know how to win, man.
Yeah, man. It's and I will say something to the other side of that. There have been ideas floating around certain groups on Facebook where I openly question them because that's how life is supposed to work. If you see something wrong with something, you ask a question.
If you see something, say something.
I mean,
if you see something, say something.
There were people putting out these weird conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and some of them I was happy to see that a lot of people were like, "Man, get the fuck out of here with this! Like, what are y'all doing?"
Yeah.
And then you have people talking about, "Oh, y'all so quick to respond negatively to something when y'all could be taking y'all time to go research." And I'm like, hold on. Just because somebody doesn't agree with you on a particular topic doesn't mean they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
You could be wrong. It's possible for you to be wrong. So, like, chill out.
I mean,
perfect statement. To stamp out racism, anti-Semitism has got to go to.
Y'all listen, again, it's one of these things where we don't have time for that. Like there are things that we need to get addressed that they've been ignoring, they've been glossing over, they've been gaslighting the fuck out of it. And we were in a perfect spot to get this because our argument is sound. Like we have data to back up all the shit that we're saying.
Thanks.
Right? So why then take something to erode the people that are thinking well of this situation? It's not smart. It's not tactical. I don't know what you dime store revolutionaries think you on right now, but you're not getting anything done with that. You're not. This is not what the fact that we had to devote I would say 80% of this show to addressing this shit. When if you look at the topics we were talking about before this incident, they were all on code. Like, we talk and look, for those of you that are new to the show, if you go back a little further, about a year and a half ago, when we started this show, we talked about all kinds of things in pop culture and stuff, but we felt like this period of time, we would be foolish to not address any of this because we're the black culture geeks.
It would be, it would completely like ruin the name. Like,
right. Like we have to address a lot because this shit, 2020 is a crazy. 2020 is a crazy. It's different.
Listen,
it's different.
Listen.
It's different.
2020 different out here, my guy.
It's different. Listen, it's not that we didn't have these type of conversations before. We had it amongst ourselves. We had it amongst ourselves. It wasn't part of the content.
It wasn't as prevalent.
It wasn't prevalent. But we got to do it now because we'd be foolish to have a show. It's irresponsible for us
Completely
to have a platform
irresponsible.
like this and not say nothing, regardless of the size of the platform. So, like,
and
I
here's
said,
the thing
go
about
ahead.
that: we're still not above reproach.
Nah, at all.
If there's something that any of you sees that we say and we got it wrong, let us know.
If you see something, say
Again.
something.
Right. Absolutely. No, you're right. It's just it's a lot of craziness. Like you insulted. Good morning, lady.
Good morning.
There's something. Oh, it's not morning anymore.
No, it's
Good
afternoon now. Yeah.
Afternoon. Well, depending on where you are, it
Depends on
might
where
still be
she's
morning.
at. Right.
Yeah. So you said something about these quote unquote revolutionaries.
Dime store
And-
revolutionary. Facebook.
There we
revolutionaries.
go. There we go. The art of war.
Uh-oh.
Know thine enemy as you know yourself.
Do that.
I say that because I see one of the topics in one of the groups that keeps coming up, understandably, is reparations.
Right.
Completely understand. I get it tracks. That's on brand. That's on topic. That is something that should be a part of the conversation right now, right?
Right.
But just like before, everybody's focused on slavery. Again, slavery was terrible.
Right.
Slavery was
We
horrible.
don't have a
Any
word.
bad,
we don't have a word. We don't have a word.
Yeah, any
don't.
bad adjective that you could think of, if you add them all together, it probably still doesn't do the justice that is necessary to describe what slavery was.
Right.
However, know thine enemy.
Right.
The number one pushback, one or two, about reparations for African Americans is that was so long ago. Go. None of us alive had slaves. Now, the other one or two, depending on whatever, is we don't have the money. Whatever. Fine. I get that. I hear you. Whatever. Get out of my face. Here's the thing. We don't need to go back to slavery to have a justification for reparations.
We don't.
The Civil Rights Act is as far as we need to go back.
Yep.
To justify the need for reparations, because that is this country's official recognition that they were on some bullshit.
Right.
Official. We have them written down that they was on some bullshit and some things need to change.
Yeah. Like
there's no disputing that.
See, because what's happening is they're using the slavery era because they know records were spotty. They're using that as a reason to not do it, and then say, even though we can still make the argument, because when they act like that was a completely different country, then no, it's the same regime, the same country. Because the thing is,
we held these truths to be self-evident while there were slaves.
Y'all still celebrating all the shit that happened back then, but then don't want to take the responsibility. Like, I see a lot of motherfuckers swell up with pride when they talk about George Washington, they talk about Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln. They swell up with pride, even though you weren't around back then.
Nah.
You weren't alive back then. You didn't have anything to do with the shit that they did. But I see you swelling up with pride for that. But around the exact same time, when they was doing all the shit you feel so proud about, they was also doing this. So if you can accept some sort of feel like you need to feel proud about that shit, you need to also accept the other side, the B side of that shit too. Right?
Yeah, but we got to clear ourselves of the idea that they are just inherently good and bad people.
Nah.
It's just not how that
They're
works.
just people.
Yeah.
They're just people. and of course, when you follow the logic, at least on this show, if there are no such thing as good people, bad people, they're just people. And then we say people are trash.
So there you go. Like I don't know. It's
saying.
It's a lot going on, and
it's a lot.
Anybody who is listening to this, I shared this in one of the groups. Anybody is listening to this, and like my name didn't scare you off because you saw me say some shit in the group before. It's much easier to express certain things over speech than it is writing. I have nothing against any of you personally. It's just that when people want to spout ignorant things, uninformed things,
like
and have no basis to back them up upon,
and bad arguments
and horrible arguments,
like
that pisses me off. Again, not at the person, at the argument itself. The fact that you're using this argument,
right?
I like I said, I have not attacked anyone personally, and if you're a grammar geek to a certain degree, like I am, to a certain degree, again, you will understand that the words that I'm using. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to understand that the words that I'm using, like for instance, if I say this one of the things I said, this dumbass narrative again. again, sure, you hear the word dumbass and you think
he's calling me a dumbass.
Right. That's not what's going on.
This
narrative is dumb. Oh, because in one of the reparations posts, somebody came with the matter of fact, I don't want to misquote her. I do not want to misquote her because anytime I actually bring up somebody, I want to be as fair as I possibly can because I don't want them to be misrepresented.
Yo, we even go so far as to steal, man.
Oh yeah,
people we disagree with arguments just so they can understand. We hear what you're saying. We know exactly what you're saying. You're wrong. we think you're wrong, and this is why.
So somebody was talking about reparations and asked, I believe, something about taxes and things like that. And this person comes and says, whatever you do, no cash reparations ever. Black folk ain't ready. School, taxes, housings, incentives, or property.
Listen. We doing that. See, this is y'all don't know how to win.
Y'all
don't know how to win.
This dumbass argument again. Black adults are not children.
Thank you.
There are absolutely some of us who will throw all the money down the drain. Yep. But guess what? That's their business.
Yep.
It's not your job to police what people do with their money.
Yo, facts.
It's not.
Facts.
And see, this isn't an argument over whether Black people are financially illiterate or not.
Nope.
Actually, in this particular group, I'm kind of led to believe that a lot of us aren't.
Right.
Necessarily financially literate.
Right.
But I'm not holding that against every individual.
And you know what's crazy is the neighborhood that I left from over a year ago was predominantly Black. You've been to that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like these Black people here
know
what to do with their money?
No,
Did it look like
they had things together. So I'm pretty certain. Matter of fact, the area my mother lives in.
They understand.
I moved there when I was 18, 19, one of the two.
Yo, when I hear people say shit like no cash things ever because Black people ain't ready, what it is, this is a subtle, in some cases not so subtle, depending on how they express it, but this is a form of anti-Black bullshit.
Facts.
The fact of the matter is, and I've used this before, this analogy before. You get into a car accident, right? Mm-hmm. And the person that's at fault, he gets charged and y'all go to court. Y'all go to court and the judge rules in your favor. He was absolutely at fault and he owes you money to make you whole again. No judge on the planet says, you're right, he's wrong, he's at fault, he owes you money, but I'm not going to give it to you because you're not good. You're not good at spending your money. You bought some Jordans the other day, and I think that you probably shouldn't have. You could have that money could have went into something else. And that's what we're basically talking about. This is the people versus the state. Yeah. Black people versus the state. You violated us, so you have to have some part in making us whole.
Like, bro, you ain't 47 million people's mama.
Yeah, you're not.
You don't get to control what they do.
And you don't get to say what I can and cannot do with my loot.
And you don't get to say what they're capable of doing.
Exactly, because especially if, I'm just going to put this out there, if you have never, and The Rock means ever, took the opportunity or the chance to go out here and start your own business to see whether or not it would work, you have no reason to come to me talking about what I can and cannot do with money. Because we done ran several businesses over here. Currently. So you are in no position to tell me what the fuck to do with my money or whether or not I am capable of doing whatever. Like, I don't have a plan. You are holding on to stereotypical bullshit that they say about us. It's the same. This is an extension of that old shit when Europeans went into Africa and went into these areas and basically took the resources out like diamonds and shit like that. And they would say, well, what they don't know what to do with these diamonds. They're just sitting over there playing with the diamonds with their toes. They don't know what to do. This is the same type of shit.
Yo,
when you say funny. That,
yo, that's funny because it's the same thing. Yo, you are spouting white nationalist, white supremacist narratives. But you black. You talking down on your own people. But why does it matter what the next person doing with their money if you got your money, sis?
Do you have a plan?
Do you know what you're doing? Are you talking? Are you extrapolating yourself onto others?
That's what I'm
You're projecting right now.
You
know that you wouldn't be able to do the right thing with the money, so you feel like nobody. Like, I don't know. I don't understand.
Can we also address the idea of programs for just a second? Because y'all seem to be in love with programs, but can I just say to you that since the Civil Rights Bill was signed, up until now, there's been hundreds of programs.
Yeah.
And we still in this condition. So basically what you saying, right, is that you think you're better off if you allow them to build a bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Where they're paying people outside of your community to run it.
Yeah.
So they're getting paychecks and that money's coming up out of the reparations. These bureaucracies, by the way, being run by people outside of your community. And because they have a plan for you, this program is going to work. You really believe that? Are you that enamored with the job they've done so far? Are you really that? If you think that programs are going to save us, listen, man. All these other demographics, they don't have programs.
But wait.
They got capital.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I will push back with you against you.
Okay.
With you're talking about what has happened.
Yes.
And that is 100% true. I have no rebuttal against that.
Right.
Actually, I'm going to still man your argument. Affirmative action.
Right.
Affirmative action, statistically, if
Who
you
did
look
it help?
it up,
Who did it help?
White women.
Yep.
White women are the number one beneficiaries of affirmative action.
Yeah.
But my point is, policy is possible to be helpful. It just has to be written specifically and with a specific intent.
Right.
That is the issue that all of these programs have been lacking.
Right.
A specificity and an intent. Because affirmative action, that's why somebody made a post about reparations before that didn't include any payment. And in our conversation about it back and forth, they kept including all people that are minorities. And I'm like, hold on, chill out. Because
see what they're doing, right?
We have to be specific about this. We have to be intentional about this. This
Mhm.
country has committed many grievances
To many of people.
to many of people. We should not let them off the hook. That's how I feel. It's not about putting down or setting aside a fellow minority member. It is about holding this country accountable for what they've done. You get off of the hook when you said it, because the narrative about affirmative action is, see, we gave them jobs.
Yeah.
We gave them spots in school because they're black.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't care about that narrative if it was actually true.
Suffer, it's not.
It's not the case.
And what I would say is, when you deal with insurance companies, insurance companies don't deal with potential. They deal with what you did.
Yeah.
Is this what you was on this? You did that? Damn, your health is like kind of fucked up over there.
Yeah. Up goes up. Oh, you
Goes
smoke?
up. You smoke.
Oh, goes up.
Now
you waited until you were 40? Up goes up.
Goes up. Now you might say able to say to them, but I'm gonna quit smoking next week.
Sure.
That
we don't know what damage is
we
done.
hope you do.
Right.
But what we see right here, what you did, we not gonna throw no money out there to cover your ass.
No.
Based off of your past. That's how I see the program. Based off your past, you are
specifically making decisions that will lead us to pay out more.
Yeah. Like, you don't seem to be a good decision maker in a lot of things when it came to
Yeah, because it might not be intentional. We're not saying you're trying to kill yourself.
No, but you're not.
We're saying what you're doing is killing you.
Yeah. And we don't want to put the bread out there for that. So that's how I look at it. Like, I feel like, me as an individual, I don't need your stinking programs. I already know what I'm going to do.
That reminds me. The whole thing, one of the two of the biggest things that I saw throughout these conversations about reparations are free school and low interest rates for home loans. But what about the people that don't want to go to school or own a house? Like, no, we not. Y'all keep. I think what it is for the well-intentioned among them is they're trying to be on their Sun Tzu shit. They're trying to be on Know Thine Enemy.
Yeah, that's part of it.
But they're being a little bit too.
They're not going to give us.
They're not going to give us.
Yeah. So we might as well get signed.
No. That's not how the negotiations work. You don't give. You don't throw out the number you think you're going to get.
Right.
You throw out the number that you either feel like you deserve or you feel you would be ecstatic to get.
And maybe a lot of us don't realize that because of our position in this society has not allowed us to be in a position to actually make negotiations for big fucking numbers.
That's a fact.
You know?
Shit, for anything.
For anything, for that matter.
For anything of value outside of personal value.
We take what usually they give. So
yeah,
you go out there look for a job. We are hiring. We're paying $11 an hour.
That's
take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. And we go, damn.
Well, when you
take it.
When you have a certain amount of leverage, you can call a bluff.
Yeah, like, yo, you see what's on this resume?
You say you saying 11. I want to start at 14.
Right. And here's why. I need to
start
at 14.
These are what I've done.
This is my experience. This is my level of education.
I'm going to start at 14.
Right.
But we're offering 11.
Right.
All right. Have a good day.
Right.
Guarantee you, in some instances, that person is going to get a call back.
Yeah.
Not in every instance.
And he might not get 14.
No,
He might get 13. He might get 12.50 with a promise after the 90 days to go.
Right.
Up. Like it's but again, a lot of us, we want to start as we want to start with the fail first. They ain't going. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Funny enough, I actually did that with my homeboy when he came to work for my company. Well, came back to work. Regardless, not important how many times he worked there or not. Doesn't matter. When he came to work for my company, specifically the location that I work at,
right?
He was like, "Well, they only want to give me such and such." I said, "Listen, you have a degree that could potentially help you with one of these jobs down here.
Right.
So you mentioned the degree. You tell them you want such and such, and you leave them to think about it.
Right.
And he did that. And they didn't give him what he asked for, but they gave him close to what he asked for with a promise of an increase after the first 90 days.
Right.
And it was higher than what they originally offered him. That's all. Like, yo, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. You have to be willing.
You have to be an advocate for yourself.
Because here's the thing.
Be a self-advocate.
Worst case scenario, they say no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
if
it winds down, because if it gets to the point where the decision is made that this is going to happen, and we just got to figure out what the terms are going to be, then the worst case scenario is some of those things you're asking for anyway.
Right.
So don't ask for that. Ask for more. Now the 6 quadrillion number that came out of fucking y'all listen. That when I saw that post and the amount of people that were agreeing with it, that showed me a lot about that particular.
In 2015, the world's total wealth was estimated to be only $250 trillion.
Right.
That's like 5 years ago.
Yo,
you really think
we are
you really
in the United States, one of the richest countries in the world?
Yeah.
And we have people. Now, a part of it is for political reasons. That's not why I'm bringing this up. So we're ignoring the political reasons. Mm-hmm. We have people that make decisions here who literally are complaining about $2 trillion.
Yeah.
You think it's that much money out here? 6 quadrillion. You understand how much money that is?
No. You know why? Because the people
big
that
numbers
are saying
fuck
that,
us up.
Big numbers fuck us up. The people that are saying that have never even been in a room with $100,000, $200,000, $500,000. They've never been in a room physically with that. They can't even fathom how much money that actually is. And again, we're not saying that they don't have more money than they let on to. Of course, we just witnessed them toss $4 trillion at this shit or something. But what we're saying is, for some of the things that y'all are thinking, it's not true. It's demonstrably not true. And you can't go into this with these false ideas.
Yeah, you're talking about, there's a difference between them giving us money and them literally bankrupting themselves.
They're not going to do that. So this is why I always say, the economy is fluid. It's moving. It's constantly doing it, especially before this whole pandemic thing. It's constantly moving forward. They always tell you when the bill collector call your house and you say, look, man, I ain't got it. What they say to you, can you put something on it?
Right.
What I'm telling y'all is it is entirely possible for them to put something on it.
Absolutely.
As a yearly stipend. They say, look, all right, bam, because they're going to continue to make money because the economy is going to continue to move.
Absolutely.
So then, look,
especially if they put this money out here.
Yo, listen know that the majority
listen to me clearly
are not going to pick up and leave out of the country. No. They're going to put that money right back into the economy again.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Which is, like I said, if these Black-owned businesses that we're talking about supporting are on the up and up, they are contributing to the economy as well.
They are.
You can't make a distinction of Black-owned businesses versus non-Black-owned businesses, as well as talk about the entire economy going down. You can't do that.
That's the other thing that's funny about this conversation with people. Like when Marcus Garvey said leave, y'all niggas wanted to stay. Okay. So since you wanted to stay, right, your money is not separated out from everybody else's money. Mm-mm. You're in the country with other demographics. Your money is going into the United States coffers.
Yep.
They're not saying, okay, this is Black money, this is white money, this is Asian money.
No,
they're not
it's green.
It's his money going into these same spots, these same things. You have chosen to intertwine your livelihood, economics, and general welfare with everyone else in this country.
Yeah.
and that's actually one of the arguments I always make when they say, well, I didn't have anything to do with that. Why should I pay? Yo, I didn't want them spending my tax money on the Iraq war. They did that shit anyway.
That's a fact.
They did that shit anyway. So this ain't about what you wanted. This about the state, and you put your money into that coffer the same way I did. My folks paid for in 1988 when Ronald Reagan signed that bill. And then the apology they gave to the Japanese Americans to get that, $20,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
The people that each individual that was involved with that got $20,000 or their estate did. Yo, our money went into that too. And I ain't mad. You know why? I was grown in 88. I'm not mad. You know why? Because the state did something and they need to make good on
pay
that.
for it.
So now don't come around here now telling me if just because your individual family had nothing to do with slave trade or what was happening during the civil rights era, whatever, that don't matter because my family had nothing to do with putting Japanese Americans in internment camps.
Right.
Our money still went into it. So I ain't trying to miss me with that argument. Because if that's the case, if you're telling me I can divest my money, my tax money for all them wars that they went into, then give me my shit now. I want my rebate now.
Thanks.
It's my money, and I want it now.
All right.
Fuck out of here.
I did a little quick math, right? So 360. That's million. Yeah, 360 million. Broken down would be approximately the amount of money. I'm sorry, $360 million could be gained from roughly every individual paying $100 more in taxes a month.
Wow.
Bruh.
Wow.
It's not, like I said, that's a rough number. It's not going to be.
They can make it happen. They can make anything happen they want to make happen. This is why I said about not eroding goodwill.
Right.
Anything they want to make happen, they can make it. They can find a way to make it happen.
Oh, they can figure it out.
They won't be motivated to do that when you distract everybody.
Yeah.
With this shit, and you start playing different marginalized groups, tragedies against each other. Like, yo, this ain't the time for that stupid ass conversation.
Yeah.
Y'all want to have that conversation in barbershop? Go ahead.
Yeah. There's a difference between placating and operating in good faith. Yeah.
Like y'all not tactical enough to actually make this work. And I'm seeing it now. Like it's this week.
Yeah.
Next Monday will be something else that's going to distract away from what we're talking about. And then by the time that shit's eroded, by the time they have that election in November, there's no telling where the country's going to be at that point and after that, as far as this conversation is concerned. So this is not the time for us to veer off away from that. We need to stay on that, hammer these points. And you're not doing that because you want to talk about the learned elders of Zion or something, the protocol. You want to talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? A book that's been disputed and debunked. You want to talk about the shit that was in that book. I need y'all to stay on code, stay on
It's
point.
not relevant to what's going on.
It's not relevant to what
That's all.
That's
believe
all
what you want to believe.
Right, but it's not relevant. It's not relevant to what we're trying to get shit changed now. And all y'all want to do is continue to create enemies. And I'm saying that's not, y'all don't know how to win. That's why I'm fucking leaving. Y'all don't know how to fucking win, yo. Like,
all right. I'm done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ladies and gentlemen.
First, let me just say, we had a couple of new people in here today. I want to thank y'all for checking the show out.
Absolutely.
Please subscribe and hit that bell notification to get notifications. Because YouTube is janky. So you might subscribe to us and then not get notified that we got to show up or something like that. But I want to thank y'all for sitting in here listening to this madness. listen to us completely go ape shit over stuff that hopefully you cared about. hopefully you were entertained. Where I want to thank you for that. We've been doing this show for over a year. And we continue to improve on it, continue to get better. I have enjoyed my time on this show. And there's more things that we're trying to do in the future. Check out our Patreon if you want. We got extra content for the cost of $1, which is even less than the cost of a cup of coffee nowadays.
Facts.
You help support what we're doing here and Multi-World in general, because there's a lot of content we're trying to do. We're trying to upgrade equipment. We're trying to upgrade software. We're trying to do a whole bunch of stuff. And at the same time, we're offering just content that's even beyond what you're seeing here. I posted up a music video this week, a little short music video. I'm gonna be doing more of those. There's gonna come a time we're gonna be doing skits. We got other things, other content. So just rock with us. We appreciate you rocking with us thus far.
That's it.
Is there anything else you want to add to that, SBJ?
Nah. Stay focused.
Stay focused, man.
That's it.
Stay focused.
Just stay focused. I would like people to stay focused.
Just stay focused. So for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater Multi-World Entertainment family. Yo, you're trash. We are out.
Peace. And the stream.